So if you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. Well, I can call you Betty, and Betty you can call me. You can call me Al. Call me Al.
This is Call Me Al with Al Iaquinta.
Oh, yes. We are back. The Call Me Al Show week. Something.
12.
Week 12.
We've been around a whole quarter. 3 months.
Wow. That's insane. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought that I would be here with you, Aaron, eating? What do you think this is right here?
I can't tell. Oh, my God. Is that a Chance the Bouncer custom-made chocolate?
Look at those.
Beautiful.
I don't know if he wants me to. I think he kind of wants me to keep the company's name on the DL. I don't know why. It seemed like he didn't want to tell me the company at first, and then I just got a delivery to my door. 3 big boxes of chocolates. I'm going to take it easy with the chocolate because I got the whole fight thing going on, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But these things are good. Chance the Bouncer, he can choke out unruly retards at the bar just as good as he can make a box of chocolates. This one's like caramel. Oh man.
Oh.
Shout out to Chance.
Look at that. Amazing.
Bobby Green isn't eating chocolate, he says. Styles coming in hot. I could have a piece of chocolate, you know what I mean? I'm a freaking savage, man. I mean, right now I feel pretty good. I had a good day. Good week of training. Everything's going good. I am a quitter. He says at Ken Buchan. He's on here. This guy's been talking crap for a while. Finally made a Haps account. We'll see if he gets on. But we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in the world.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Crazy. A lot going on in New York.
Yeah, this new I'm getting scared. I think I'm gonna have to get this vaccine. I think I'm gonna have to get the vaccine in order to fight.
In order to fight, you're gonna have to get it? So athletes
I think
are
so. I think from what I'm hearing now, the New York resident athletes have to take it. I think they were saying I heard a couple of the I don't know. I'm not a big basketball guy, but some of the Knicks or something, the Nets, one of them, they're going to have to take the vaccine or they're not going to play. I think de Blasio, he put out a message. I was talking to a couple of guys at the gym, and they were saying that he really enjoys watching them play, and he hopes that they're able to play. And in order to do that, they'd have to get this vaccine.
Wow.
And I'm not too thrilled about that. About it.
You know which vaccine you'll have to get?
I think I haven't looked too much into it. I don't know too much about it. I know there's the one which is the one shot. Is that the Johnson & Johnson? And there's the Pfizer is the 2.
Yep.
So I don't know if you have to get the 2-shot one or if you can get the 1-shot one. But yeah, definitely not looking forward to it.
So you have to have, in order to be considered fully vaccinated, it's 2 weeks after your last shot, right?
Oh man. And we got to get going. We got to figure this out.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll see. There's always a chance that they just move the card because I know I don't know. There's so much up in the air. We'll see what happens. But I was looking through Twitter, and one of the better follows on Twitter is an old school guy that I was watching in the beginning of when I just started getting into MMA. The king of rock and rumble, Elvis Sinosic, and he's been posting a lot about what's going on in Sydney, Australia, and Australia in general. Sydney is one of my favorite places to visit. I haven't been in a few years now, and I was hoping to get there this winter because, as you guys know, the seasons are opposite. So when it's winter here, January, February, miserable in New York, beautiful summer in Sydney, Australia. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. But I would like to get a little update on what's going on in Sydney and catch up with my good friend Elvis Sinosic. So without further ado, here he is himself, the king of rock and rumble, Elvis.
Hey guys,
Sinosic.
can you hear me all right?
We got you.
We got you, man.
Give
All
me a
the
second. I
way
don't
from
seem to be getting any volume from you guys.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
All
the way from the other side of the world. These things happen, you know what I mean?
Not sure what's going on here. Sorry for this, guys. First time using.
Might have to maybe bring him back in. He comes out and then bring him back in with the volume.
I don't know. Can you hear us or no? Okay, so maybe he cannot hear us. Sweet. Hey, Mike, where's here? What's up? All right, let me send him a message here.
Yeah, send him a message. Elvis Sinosic. For those of you just joining us, or he's going to reconnect. He was the first Australian title holder.
Hello.
Hello.
All right,
I hear you guys. How do I? Sorry, I seem to be on, and I can see my microphone going up and down, but I can't actually hear you guys.
Huh.
All right. Well, I sent him a message, so hopefully he gets it real quick. So, yeah, all right. It looks like he's got it. He's going in and out there. Boom. It is proof, though, that you can join HAPS from Australia. Many of our Australian friends have tried.
From the other side of the world. Isn't it crazy? Technology nowadays.
Oh. It's tomorrow there, right?
Yeah, he's in the future. It is Friday morning right now where Elvis Sinosic is calling from Sydney. I believe Sydney, Australia. He was in Sydney when I was in Sydney a few years back, and I did a seminar at his gym. He is an OG of the game. He's fought a who's who of guys in the UFC and outside of the UFC. Frank Shamrock, Tito Ortiz, Evan Tanner, Forrest Griffin, Babalu, Sobral, and he's got a win over Jeremy Horn.
Yeah, that was considered a big upset at the time, too. Yes. Can you hear us now?
All right.
Have to go to your traditional Chrome browser. Can you guys see me all right?
Yes.
We got you, Elvis. We got you. We're in.
Beautiful. Down Under is up in New York again.
Let's go. Yes. What have you been up to? What's going on? What is the state of Sydney, Australia right now? I was telling the audience before you came on that my dreams are to get to Sydney 6 months out of the year and be in New York in 6 months out of the year. The endless summer.
I mean, look, I think Sydney is one of the most beautiful and livable cities in the world. That is until recently, obviously, with what's going on in regards to COVID and the lockdowns. I think we're going through a lot of similar stuff that you guys are. We've been shut down for 3 months, basically. I mean, they were kind of clever in the way they did it just started with a soft lockdown and then a restriction here and then a restriction there, and it's kind of pretty much built up to the point where it's almost a police state. You know, we have military on the roads, but it's kind of disproportionate. There are certain areas, like I live out in the western suburbs, where there's a lot more ethnic community, a lot more ethnic variety in religion and people out here, and they're being treated harshly. It's like people are getting assaulted and tackled and handcuffed for not wearing a mask. Whereas you go into the eastern suburbs, which is the beaches, is a little bit more affluent area, and it's kind of where a lot of the politicians running the state at the moment are based, and they're pretty much living a normal life, ignoring all the health orders. They're, you know, out in the beaches in droves, no social distancing, no masks, not following, you know, and the police are happily strolling down the boardwalk, not really enforcing anything. Then you come out west again, and then you're literally seeing police cars lining the streets, officers going into parks and harassing parents and children. As I said, you know, in shopping centers, tackling people and handcuffing them. We've had a couple of sad instances where people have had heart attacks as a result, because obviously they've got medical conditions while they're not wearing masks, and the police are just ignoring it. And literally, someone was having a heart attack, and they didn't take the handcuffs off. It was just unbelievable. So, as I said, we're going into summer, beautiful weather. Lockdowns are hopefully starting to be released. They're kind of again staging it out. They've got 11th of October where vaccinated people may return to the community, and then there's a couple of stages, and then in theory, 1st of December, the unvaccinated may join the community. But saying that, I think the police have kind of gone, we've had enough. They've literally said, we're not going to be enforcing any sort of vaccine checking or passport or anything like that. So now they're kind of leaving it up to the businesses to do it. But saying that, they've said they're not going to fine the businesses. They'll fine any individuals they catch. So I'm not really sure how they're planning to administer it, or why they would expect anyone to follow the directives when there's not really any reason to. So it's kind of a little bit confusing at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like some mayhem over there. You got us?
I seem to have lost you guys. Do I need to do something?
Uh-oh. We can see you just fine. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
God damn it. Hello?
Oh, man. We're here. We got you. They can't hear us again. Oh, no.
Man. Oh, man. Oh, Mike said the same thing happened to him. But me and Al are in, so I'm not sure why it would just be Elvis. So this is interesting. It's probably, I'm sure it's the intercontinental connection here. Oh, he's off. Darn it.
Yeah,
Maybe he's back in. Well, at least we heard him all right. All right. Hopefully
it's pretty wild that the beaches are a totally different story.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I hope I can hear you again. I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going from the other side of the world, so this is incredible that it's even happening.
Yeah. Well, did you get most of what I said in that diatribe a moment ago?
Yeah, we got all of it. We got all of it. It seems like down by the beaches, people are kind of doing what they want.
Yep.
And then in the city, I guess you're saying, is that where?
No, it's more the burbs. It's one particular section of the burb sort of thing. Cities, a bit like you guys, we have the main city centre, and then you've got sub cities around it, smaller city communities like Liverpool, Parramatta, Northern Beaches, Eastern Suburbs, Cronulla. So they all have kind of their own sub-communities within the major community. Obviously, Sydney's a massive city, not unlike New York, where you've got your boroughs and the like. So it would be equivalent of one of the boroughs or something being treated differently to, say, the city or something like that out there.
Yeah, and so your gym has been totally shut down.
Yes, so I've got King's Academy, which has been running for about 20 years. The one you were at when you were out here last, so that's been shut down for 3 months. Sadly, I actually just opened a UFC gym. So I opened up my second gym a week before the lockdown, so that got shut down. So that's been shut down for 3 months, and it's been honestly one of the most stressful 3 months in my life. Is like I've literally got $1 million in loans that I've got to repay. So I've got no income coming in. I've managed to defer some of the payments and stuff like that, but I still have rents. I've still got to negotiate with landlords. I've still got bills, electricity, all sorts of stuff coming in. We do get some government assistance, but it really just doesn't cover what the losses are. We are lucky that all the community, that individuals get a government payment, but again, my personal bills are going through the roof because it's just not covering. Now I know what people say is, you've got to adjust your living to what your income is, and I'm going, that's easy to say when the bills haven't come in, but when they've already come in and now your income's changed and you're still getting bills from while you're open, and now you're getting new bills while you're closed. It's just, it's basically debts accruing at the moment, and until we get open, it's going to kind of be a bit like that. Hey, Lulu.
There we go. Geez. Yeah, I mean, we dealt with. It seems like you guys are just like the seasons are kind of like the opposite of us. We're looking kind of like we're getting the restrictions in New York are getting tighter definitely as far as vaccinations go. Are they pushing how are they pushing the vaccinations on you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of strange that the federal government has gone, we can't mandate vaccines. The state governments have gone, we can't mandate vaccines. But now they're still requiring it. Because they can they get around it because it's a health emergency. They can kind of force people to do it. Currently, there's 3 court cases in the High Court going on. If I wasn't on right now, I'd be playing it just to see what's going on. I like to stay in touch with what's happening. But there's a couple of court cases challenging not just the constitutional legality of the actual mandates, but whether the health emergency has been applied properly. Is it being used in the way it was supposed to be? So these couple of days are some very important days for us at the moment. It's going to really, I think, be a defining moment for Australia and Australians moving forward, because whatever the decision is, it's going to kind of decide how we're going to be living life moving forward. Are they going to create 2 class of citizens? Are they going to try and separate the vaccinated and the unvaccinated? And it's crazy. I mean, I'm sure you're aware. There's been numerous studies. Massachusetts is a great example where vaccinated don't actually prevent infection or transmission. It's been demonstrated in Israel, Gibraltar, the UK, Iceland. I mean, the vaccination rate has gone up. Cases have gone up. With cases going up, obviously hospitalization and deaths has gone up. So what's the point of having a vaccine passport if it doesn't actually do anything? Now, it allegedly gives you protection. I believe that is a short-lived individual protection. But then once you're out of that, if you don't get your booster, then you're stuffed again. So it's kind of crazy that they're trying to implement this, vaccine passport that doesn't actually prevent or control anything at all other than the individual.
Wow.
It's definitely man, it's a tricky thing because my understanding of it seems like they need to work on this vaccine to me. The vaccine,
Absolutely.
it doesn't seem like that's when I first heard, they were coming out with this vaccine. You take the vaccine and you don't get COVID. And then you started hearing about cases where people, they took the vaccine, but they're getting COVID. And now it's just turned into the thing where that, yeah, of course. Yeah, you get the vaccine, you can still get it, you can still transmit it. But now they're saying that the effects of COVID, if you do get it, are lessened.
Yeah.
And
But
go ahead.
that's what actually creates the problem. Now, I'm going to apologize if you guys are familiar with this, but I get a bit obsessive compulsive. Health and fitness is really big on my radar. So once we got shut down for 3 months and I've got no business to run, nothing to do, I've kind of taken a very deep dive into the topic of COVID because obviously it's having such a massive effect on me. But what reducing the symptoms does is it, in theory, protects you. But when you look at the actual studies, it doesn't actually prevent severe outcomes or death. All it does is reduce your actual symptoms in the mid-range. So you've got your asymptomatic, no symptoms, you've got your severe symptoms, your hospitalizations and deaths, and then you've got your mid-range mild symptoms, mild to kind of the severe end, and it reduces it. Now, what that does is it reduces the symptoms, but it does not reduce the viral load. So in your nasal pharynx, you will have an increased viral load, which means you have people now going out in the community who don't feel sick, but are carrying the same virus load as an unvaccinated person, being basically super spreaders.
And it seems, I mean, I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, pretty obvious, but I would think that that's where the virus would mutate and build up an even greater immunity to whatever kind of vaccine we have.
Well, that's correct. I mean, anyone who's listened to Robert Malone, who's the inventor of mRNA technology, and there's been numerous other biologists, vaccinologists, and immunologists who've kind of said the same thing, is when you vaccinate the entire community, you put pressure onto the virus, and it's called viral escape. It is similar to what happens when you overdo antibiotics. So everyone should be familiar with staphylococcus. Staph is a common infection, but when you see in hospitals, you see antibiotic resistant staph. It's because, again, the overuse of the antibiotic forces the pathogen to evolve and adapt to become resistant to the antibiotic. And there's the same things happening with the virus because it's active in the community. We're over vaccinating, trying to do the whole community, actually forces the virus to adapt an immune called viral escape. And it's only done through the vaccinated because obviously if you have no vaccine, if you're unvaccinated, it's not forced into that situation where it's got to defend itself because there's no such thing as immune escape from the natural immune system. It's the viral escape of the vaccinated situation. So it drives the mutants as they come forward, the different variants. So if you look at variants, they didn't exist before, or not in large numbers before vaccination. Obviously, there is always a certain amount of viral adaptation where it kind of changes, but it's a relatively slow-paced adjustment, whereas viral escape is really maximized once you start vaccinating. Now, I can understand they've needed to go out and very quickly create a vaccine and get it out fast because of, the pandemic. It's supposed to be very dangerous, but in my opinion, they implemented it the wrong way. It should have only been made available to the elderly, the at risk, the obese, the immunocompromised, the low vitamin D levels. For those people that are at risk, they should have been offered the vaccine. They should have been really the only ones. Obviously, the greater community could choose to take it if they felt it was suitable for them. But for the greater community, we should have actually been looking at more health outcomes. We should have been, are you getting exercise? Are you getting sufficient sunlight? Are your vitamin D levels at a decent level? What's your weight like? Are you losing weight? Are you eating healthy? Let's get you into the best position to fight this virus. And then by getting the community healthy, doing prophylactic treatments such as vitamin D, treatments, high dose vitamin C, ivermectin, fluvoxamine, doxycycline. There's monoclonal antibodies. There are numerous treatments that you can do that will help the community deal with the infection, particularly when the broader community isn't at the greatest risk of it. So it allows us to handle it effectively. We would have this pandemic under control, but because they've taken the wrong approach, and the problem, I think, is they've made the mistake, and instead of admitting it, as most governments do, they double down. Oh, it's not working, so let's push it even harder. Oh, that didn't work, let's do it. Let's add a booster shot. Let's do this. Let's double down. Now, there is a certain amount of conjecture that it's likely monetarily driven as well, which doesn't help the situation when you have governments that don't like to admit fault, and you've got money in the background. It's just making the situation worse. Whereas if you currently look at the Scandinavian countries, Finland, Norway, Sweden, they've now reclassified COVID as an annual respiratory disease, and they've dropped all restrictions, returned life to normal, which is very interesting because when you look at Sweden and then Finland and Denmark had very strict, lockdowns and restrictions, and Sweden pretty much carried on as usual. They had recommendations, and there were a few laws like limiting large gatherings, but other than that, the community continued. And look, they're at the same place as the other Scandinavian countries at the moment. Now, they did one thing that no other country did. Their government took responsibility. Very early on, and I know this happened in New York, it happened in Melbourne, and it happened in numerous countries around the world. The governments, in an attempt to reduce the stress in hospitals, took the mild or mid-case people and put them into care homes. Now, what this did, obviously, it put the virus in the places where it was the most risk, which was the elderly, and obviously all these places saw massive spikes in deaths as a result of the government policies. Now, most of the governments have kind of shirked responsibility, have hidden from it. Sweden actually came out and said, you know what, we've stuffed up. We should never have done that. We should never have put COVID patients in care homes. Our care homes were already woefully undermanaged. We already had issues in place that we probably should have resolved before we did this. And they had a massive death spike. They said, look, we did it. We made a mistake, got it wrong. But now we know. Now people look back and go, oh, look, Sweden admitted they did the wrong thing, trying to claim that that admission of guilt was because they didn't impose lockdowns or they didn't impose masks or whatever. No, they admitted they did the wrong thing at the start. They've adjusted. Now they're doing the right thing. And you can't tell me they haven't done the right thing when their excess deaths are some of the lowest in the EU and in Europe. They're currently running as normal. Their economy has been limitedly impacted, if at all, and now they're back to normal. So if these countries are back to normal, what are we doing wrong?
Well, you said something earlier that I know in New York was not even mentioned, and still just barely been mentioned, is fitness. Just the people that are in shape. The people that are in shape that have had COVID already have natural immunity antibodies, and somewhat of immunity. There was really no mention of it. In fact, they were bribing people with fast food and other unhealthy alternatives to get the virus. And it was
Yeah,
just
no, absolutely. Yeah, I saw that. I've seen a lot of it in the lotteries and the things. And I agree. It's the same here in Australia. We've got our health officials coming out, but they don't actually give health advice. Their only advice is get the vaccine, get the jab, more jabs in arms, get the jab, get the jab. That's it. It's just a constant repetition. There's no discussion about weight, no discussion about vitamin D, no discussion about healthy eating habits. And then when you look at it, think about what the worst outcomes are for those immunocompromised, are the people that are overweight, low vitamin D, limited, not moving very much. So what do? Is they impose lockdown. What does that do? It stops people moving, stops people going outdoors. So you're lowering vitamin D levels, you're increasing weight. People sit in front of the TV because they can't go to work. They're not allowed out of the house. They're only allowed out of the house an hour a day. So they become more obese. They become unfit. Their vitamin D levels tank. So now all of a sudden you've got a large community that's unwell because you've given no actual health advice. And then when you release the community back out again, cases go up and they go, oh, see, we told you so. And it's like, no, you caused it, but you're not going to take responsibility for it. And it's, as you can say, it's just, I get very passionate about it. It's very disturbing. I do posts on Facebook about health, and everyone's like, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to tell you that your health is important, and whether it's this virus or another virus or the flu or something else, you don't look after your health. No one else is. No one else is responsible for your health. And this is the most concerning part of the message that I'm seeing from the government and the media is you're responsible for someone else's health. No, the only person responsible for your health is you. And the only exception to that rule is if you're a parent. As a parent, then obviously you are also responsible for your child's health. Other than that, I'm not responsible for anyone else's health. It's not my job to go out there. If my job is to ensure they're healthy, then I'm going to make sure they're exercising. I'm going to make sure they're not smoking. I'm going to make sure they're not drinking. I want to make sure they're out in the sun for 1 hour every day. If you want me to vaccinate, then you need to be doing all those other behaviors, because if you're telling me my health, what I do for my health is affecting your health, then the same thing goes for you. What you're doing to your health affects my health. And if you're not doing healthy behaviors, why should I do anything to improve your chances? It does not make sense.
Absolutely. We're getting a couple of questions here. Misha Tate got COVID. She was healthy. Brian Redband says, so it's more than just diet and exercise. But I think, Brian, she seemed to have fought it pretty well, I'm guessing, right?
She recovered, did she not?
Yeah, I mean, and we had another comment earlier about Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski is vaxxed, and yeah, I mean, these people, they're recovering pretty well, it seems.
Well, now I'll jump in here for a sec, because obviously you get this a lot as well. I mean, we're athletes. We've been in the sport. We know what's going on. Obviously, I can't speak for all athletes, but it's undeniable that generally athletes can be very healthy. But I would digress and say they're more likely very fit rather than very healthy. There are some athletes, particularly those who've retired, because I will admit, during my fight career, I was probably fitter than I was actually healthy. I didn't actually really understand health until I retired and realized what was going on. A lot of athletes have a bad habit of, we cut hard, we train like absolute animals in preparation for fights, and then post-fight, you can kind of let go, and you go out, you get your pizzas, you put on too much weight. There are so many fighters that are off-season, they balloon out of weight. And then, the weight cutting process on the body is extremely stressful. You're very much aware of, sorry, got another visitor, post-fight, fight flu that you get, after the fight, because your immune system, your health has been run down because the amount of stress you put on your body through training and cutting weight and then dieting, it is stressful on the body. And yes, we are fit and we have the ability to be healthy, and we are generally healthy, but we don't always perform healthy behaviors. And if someone gets COVID while they're cutting weight, they're not in their prime condition. So it's not surprising that you're going to see, some, difficulty in dealing with the virus because you're already stretching your body in what you're doing to kind of get ready for the fight. So I do take contention with people saying, oh, but athletes are getting sick. Yes, they do, and they always have, and they always will. It's because of the amount of stress, both psychological and physical, that we put on ourselves in preparing for fights. So generally, they will recover well. They know how to look after themselves. When they do get sick, they're more likely to follow the rules. It's because, if I injure my knee and the doctor says you have to do 100 knee bends every day, I'll do 100 knee bends. The average person won't do it, because, they'll go home, they'll sit home, they'll come back after 2 weeks and go, my knee's not better. And, they may have done 100 knee bends for the first 2 days, but then they stop because they got bored, whereas the athlete will do it every single day. Same thing with COVID. The doctor says, do this, do that, do this every day. They will. They may get sick, but they will recover because they're willing to do what is necessary to recover. But just saying, because athletes get it or get sick, that it is worse than it is. It's like, no, you've got to look at the actual situation. There are numerous healthy people that get it, and I've had students who've got it, and they're asymptomatic. They don't even have symptoms. The only reason they know they had it was because they failed the test, not because they're in hospital or in bed. Yeah, absolutely. There were some people that ended up in bed and for a couple of days felt absolutely crappy, but then they recovered. Even in Australia, when you're looking at all they call out, they're doing their daily press conferences. We had 11 people die, 70, 3 70-year-olds, 4 80-year-olds, 4 90-year-olds. They all had comorbidities, and it's like, how can you not listen to that and see, there might be 1 30-year-old that dies, or 2 40-year-olds or something like that. It's going to happen. It doesn't mean they were healthy. They could have undiagnosed health conditions, and it's like, and that's no different, because people go, oh, but it's undiagnosed. How can you claim that? And it's the same thing as you get people who die, and they literally state tested positive for COVID after they died. So was it even the cause of death? No, they just do the test just to double check. Oh, look, they have COVID. They're a COVID death now. Insanity.
Add them to the list. Definitely. That's why the numbers, you really don't know. But you said so. I mean, I never thought about it like that. The difference between being fit and being healthy. Because, fighting is definitely, I'd say it can teach you a fit lifestyle, but the process of fighting is very unhealthy. Definitely the last 4 weeks leading up to the fight, and then the weight cut itself and the fight, it's a pretty unhealthy thing to be putting your body through.
And look, and I hate to bring this up, but it is undeniable that there is a certain proportion of the athletic community that will use PEDs, and PEDs will improve your performance, but they're not necessarily going to improve your health. And, I know it's not the entire community, but there is some of them out there, and you're not going to necessarily know, other than if they failed, whether they've been doing it. But that is also should be a consideration. The simple fact is, if they're doing these behaviors just to improve performance, regardless of health risk, what else are they not doing? It's like, yes, there's a big difference between health and fitness. And as I said, it's one of the things I discovered post-fight career. I had to pull out of UFC 110, the first fight in Australia, because I blew out my shoulder. Ended up having to have surgery for it, so I was out for 12 months because I couldn't use my shoulder. Then slowly took me a while for it to recover, and I put on a lot of weight, and I kind of hit a point about 18 months afterwards, and I'm looking at myself and gone, well, what's happened here? It's like, I still carried it pretty well. I'm a big guy, I'm 6'3". I was 200 pounds. I think I got up to about 240 or something like that. and you can still carry it pretty well. You know, wear the right clothes, make sure you don't tie your gi too tight. But I kind of realized, whoa, what's happened here? And I realized that the way I lived hadn't changed from when I was training. The only thing that had changed was my workload. So my training input had drastically dropped because, obviously shoulder surgery, there's only so much I can do. And even you can't even run because you can't swing your arms. And, I'd walk and stuff, but it wasn't. And that's when I kind of realized that you have to understand what we do when we're training, we can't do when we're not training, because people say you can't outrun a bad diet. I disagree. I think you can. I think that there is a certain time in your life with certain amount of energy levels where you can. Like you see it, numerous athletes' favorite meals are like pizzas or KFC or Jack in the Box or whatever it is. They will smash these off season and they cut them out in fight camp. So while you're fighting, you're super fit, you can kind of get away with bad behaviors. And it's not until you stop that really intense training that you kind of realize, and you have to get things back on track and kind of work out what you were doing right, what you were doing wrong, and then fine tune it, which is, what I've spent pretty much the last 10, 11 years. Well, take out the 2 years, about the last 19 years doing.
Absolutely, Aaron. Let's we're getting a lot of comments in the on the side. Let's open up. Let's throw up the number and let's see if some people want to call in.
Did just have a call. So somebody's been trying awfully hard to get through. Elvis, by the way, I've never introduced myself. My name is Aaron, and you may know me from such Twitter accounts as Not Coker and Dana Unleashed. So.
Oh, fantastic. Pleasure to meet you finally. We've obviously chatted quite a lot online. Nice to meet you at last. And I actually just realized I didn't do my call sign. It's good to be the king. I always start and end my interviews with that, and I let that one slip because of the crappy connection.
Oh, man. Well, I appreciate all the interaction. We're going to go to our first caller. I'm going to call him back right now. And be prepared, Elvis. You never know what's going to happen.
I'm always prepared. I've got a thick skin, even though I do bleed when I get cut. What can you do?
Caller number one. Here we are.
Let's see.
All
Let's
right.
see who we got.
Hello.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
Hello. This is Aaron.
Well, this is Aaron. This is Al. Who's this?
Hey, how's it going, guys? How's it going? Big fan here. I want to ask a question. You guys are talking about conditioning, right, tonight? And you have that guy there talking about conditioning.
Whoa! You have what? You have the king of rock and rumble, Elvis Sinosic.
Yeah, that guy. Close enough.
Okay, cool, man. Hey, listen, I think you're an awesome fighter, Al. Big fan of yours. What I wanted to say is I have a theory on you said the last 4 weeks of training is real tough for your health and stuff like that. And I agree with you. I see how they train you guys, and I noticed that the weight loss and the cardio, it sort of saps your guys' strength in the last month. It kind of takes your strength and your energy away. Now, you think that that's based upon that you guys, if you go in there fully charged, you think maybe you may hurt one another. Maybe that's why they do it, that they sort of curb your strength a little bit.
Elvis, we'll let you take this one.
Look, I think it's just a reflection of the kind of the sport. It's not intentional to sap your strength. Obviously, most fighters are working to be as strong and as fit as possible, and the actual weight cut itself is where the difficulty is. Generally, if you're able to rehydrate, you can get most of that back. Obviously, if you are cutting weight, you're always going to be not as strong as if you are at a higher weight. That's just, strength is still related to your actual weight. So if you're a lower weight, you're not going to be as strong as at a higher weight. I think by the time they get in the cage, it's not as big a deal. I think the issue more when it comes to the fight is the rehydration. And I know there are some organizations that address that in a different way. And I think that is one of the things that should be changed. I think the weight cutting puts undue stress on the body. And I know the UFC and some of the commissions have made adjustments by adding an extra 12 hours to the weigh-in. So I think it's 36 hours before instead of 24, which gives you a bit better opportunity. But I don't think the answer is giving people more time to rehydrate, because then that just forces them to cut weight even harder. So instead of coming closer to the weight, when you've got the extra window, people will actually push their bodies even harder because I've got an extra 12 hours to rehydrate. I think we want to look at a solution that allows people to walk in closest to their actual training weight rather than having a fight weight. And I think, hydration tests and things like that are kind of the way to go. I think one kind of approaches it in a decent way, but I'm not sure how well it's administered. It's not done by athletic commissions, so there are some concerns. But I think if an athletic commission were to get on board and to say, well, honestly, you probably need all athletic commissions on board, because otherwise you'd get fighters not wanting to fight in certain states because they want the advantage. But if all athletic commissions got on board, said, okay, when you weigh in, you've got to have a certain level of hydration, I think we'd see less stress. You'd be seeing a lot less flash knockouts. I honestly think some of the really fast and quick knockouts that you see are actually a result of the brain just not rehydrating enough. You're getting hit with shots. I hate to bring this up because I know it's a very contentious one, but Aldo versus Conor, so in my eyes, is one of the best examples. It was a beautiful shot by Conor, and I'm not trying to take away from what he achieved. But if you actually look at Aldo before that fight and after that fight, he was not the same fighter. That was the first time where he was told he was not allowed to use IV to rehydrate. So what happened was he contended the entire camp, I'm going to use IV, I'm going to use IV, I don't care. Then he got to the week and he's caught, his team have gone, you can't use IV. If you use IV, you're going to fail and you're not going to fight. And they basically had someone watching him all the time. So he didn't IV rehydrate. And because he never went into finding the best process to rehydrate, I think he came in gaunt. He didn't look the same Aldo that he did before, and he got knocked out. Now, yes, the shot that landed might have still knocked him out straight away, but I wonder, because I've seen him take some monster shots after that fight. I've seen him take some monster shots before that fight and not go down in that way. And I think it had a lot to do with his ability to rehydrate. And obviously, if you see him now at bantamweight, now that he's learned to actually cut and rehydrate properly without the use of ID, he's even lower than he was before, and he's not getting knocked out. And I think that was just, sadly for him, an unlucky learning process on how to do it properly. And I think the issue is not the training. I think the training is fine. Obviously, the dieting and weight cutting is very stressful on your body. There are numerous athletes like Dan Henderson and Vitor and numerous others who've claimed that weight cutting has tanked their testosterone, and that's why they need to use TRT and stuff like that. And I do think a certain amount of it is them gaming the system and trying to take advantage of it. But I do agree that excess weight cutting can have long-term adverse effects on you. So why not, let's get rid of it? Why not implement a fight policy, a weigh-in policy that protects the athlete a little bit better? And if it's a universal one across the board, then no one can complain.
Yeah, the ONE FC model is a great model. I think the only reason that they're hesitant to switch over is because they'd have to revamp the entire UFC. I guess everybody would have to go up in weight, and it would probably confuse people. But I'm with that 100%. Do the hydration tests. It's very, very hard. But then it's also a cat and mouse game. People always figure out how to work the system and figure out how to cut weight and pee and stay hydrated. It's something that it's going to be very hard to stop. And but going back to the original question, I think it's just a grueling sport, and to prepare for 15 minutes, you don't know
Or
what you're
25.
gonna, or 25 exactly,
Well, I wanna ask
especially
you, Al,
25. What's
I
that?
want to ask you a question though. As a fighter, Al, okay, that weight loss and all that weight cut, the dehydration and all, doesn't that sort of like make like an adrenaline dump a lot easier on a fighter? I mean, I noticed when I was in construction, I worked very hard. I did some heavy lifting all day long, and whenever I lost weight, I lost strength, and I felt like, I mean, I couldn't go like I used to. I couldn't. Whenever I was a little bit light and I had to lose weight, I felt my strength leave me, man. It was just. I know. I
Where are you from?
I'm from New York. I'm from Canarsie. I was born in Brooklyn, and I grew up.
Brooklyn in the house. I could hear it. I could tell. Yeah, I mean, there's a balance. You don't want to train too hard and deplete yourself too much that you're going to have nothing. But you have to push yourself and you have to make weight. You don't want to be too heavy. You don't want to go up to, let's say, a 155 for example, might be 175 walking around in shape. Can't fight at 170 because then they'd be fighting guys that are 200 pounds cutting down to 170. That's not healthy. You're probably going to get beat up against a larger guy. So you want to be at the right weight class. And in order to do that, you got to have your body fat percentage on point so that you can cut just enough water to where you can rehydrate and feel good, but not too much water where you're going to pass out on the scale and it would take you a week to recover from it. So it's a fine balance between everything. And that's the name of the game. That 6 weeks before the fight is where the fight's won and lost. In a lot of cases, guys go in there and either they haven't trained hard enough, they're not prepared to go, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, or they've overtrained, and that's also not. It's a fine balance, and it all has to. It's a science, and that's why you have to have, especially nowadays. You really the sports it's exponentially progressing to where there's so many the guys at the top of the game have everything dialed in to the ounce of food and water intake and everything. And if you're not doing it, you're at a big disadvantage. And like Elvis was saying, you go in there to a disadvantage. Your brain, your hydration, everything has to be on point, or you're at risk of very serious injury, a knockout, a quick loss, something along those lines. So it's a big a fine line between too much, too little, and having everything just right. And each person's different too. What works for some guys. Some guys they don't, they'll train hard, and then they'll kind of taper off 3 weeks. And some guys they'll spar the week of the fight. I see guys, sparring the week of the fight, and they go out there and they look great. And then some guys you'll see them spar the week of the fight, and they'll go out there and they look dead. So it's all, it's all a science, and each person's different.
And
That's how
to
I feel.
reiterate one of the points you made earlier, Al, it is one of the most grueling sports out there because it's literally a decathlon all in one event. So when we're preparing for fights, we're doing long-term conditioning, so we're doing runs or any sort of building up your long-term cardio, but then we're also doing explosive training. We need to be able to explode aggressively. You're doing upper body, lower body. We're doing strength training, resistance training, explosive training, doing all the different elements. So even though we're cutting weight, we're trying not to cut weight at the expense of any of your other physical attributes such as strength, which is a little bit different to the average person. When most people cut weight, they're just cutting it to cut weight, and you will tend to lose strength. Whereas the athletes are working very hard. It is, as Al said, it's a very fine line. You've got to really work your strength conditioning in such a way that one does not, if you do too much strength training, your cardio is compromised. You do too much cardio, your strength is compromised. You're not doing enough explosiveness, etc. It's kind of a very fine line. And yes, as I said, you will lose some strength, but as fighters, they're more optimized to be as close as possible to it. It's a little bit different than the average person. As I said before, if you lose weight, you'll lose strength, because for your average person, you're not just losing body fat, you're losing muscle and body fat. Whereas the athlete, really, because of, as Al said, it's such a fine balancing game. We're trying to keep muscle mass up, but bring body fat down, and it's a real balancing game on doing that. So yes, you will lose some strength, but I don't think quite as much as, say, the average person would as well.
And you know what?
Absolutely.
Bro, I want to ask you one other question about altitude. Now, if a fighter's environment is in a high altitude and they're training and living there all the time, doesn't that give them sort of an advantage on strength? Doesn't that do something to the metabolism where you burn fat more, you burn more calories at a higher altitude, colder temperatures, things like that?
Do you want me to jump in, or you got this, Al?
Absolutely, Elvis. Go right ahead.
All right, so this is one of my favorite topics. One of the things I looked at, obviously, when I came from overseas was a lot of gyms have hyperbaric chambers and altitude training. So what altitude training is kind of aimed to do is improve your cardiovascular. It doesn't really change your strength. It might help with explosiveness a little bit, again, because you're getting more oxygen to your muscles through your blood. So when you go to altitude, so when we walk around every day, the air is about 21% saturated with oxygen, but we have the ability through oxygen exchange in our lungs to get our blood to about a 98 to 100% oxygen saturation. So, 21% in the air, we can still get 100% oxygen attached to our blood cells. So when you go to altitude, the oxygen saturation, I think, is around 17% or something. So it's a little bit less. The air pressure is lower. So it actually becomes harder for your body to absorb oxygen. So that's why when you see guys go to altitude, it's not that they lose strength, it's they lose oxygen to their muscles. So it does appear like they're losing strength, but it's actually cardio is just tanking because they're not getting enough oxygen to the muscles. When you go to altitude and you stay at altitude, your body starts to adjust. So what it does, it starts creating more red blood cells to be able to, because it's not being as efficient with the oxygen intake. So it creates more blood cells to try and get your blood oxygen saturation to the same level, and your body starts to adapt. That's why they generally have to go for about 6 to 8 weeks to kind of, before they see any benefit, because you're changing yourself physiologically. The way it's a benefit, like obviously if you fight at altitude, you're basically going to be normal, and you saw that with Kane and
Verdum.
Yeah, Verdum looked normal, but Kane tanked it after the first, probably even the first round. So because he was at altitude, he adjusted. He pretty much fought normal. He wasn't fitter than he usually is. He was where he's at. The guys who are at altitude and then come down. So what happens is you've now got more red blood cells. So your body's like, okay, now I can absorb more oxygen, and it does it without increasing blood volume. So you've probably heard of blood doping and EPO. They do a very similar thing. So blood doping is you take out a liter of blood, your body will replace that blood, and then you put it back in pre-fight. So now you've got more blood, which means more red blood cells. So your cardio increases because you're getting more oxygen to the muscles. The problem with blood doping is when you put that extra blood back in, it risks heart problems because now it's a lot of stress on your heart. EPO is an artificial way of increasing or doing what elevation training does. It increases your red blood cells and oxygen saturation so that you can get, again, more oxygen to your muscles. So when you're at come from altitude down to sea level. You've got more blood cells, but you haven't increased your volume. So because your blood volume hasn't increased, you're not putting the same stress on your heart, so it's safer. That's why you can do altitude training without risk. And again, the reason I understand is I got a hyperbaric chamber, and that kind of works in a similar way. You go into an increased pressure rather than less pressure. You can't get any more red blood cells, but it forces the oxygen into your blood plasma because you're getting more oxygen in while you're in the chamber. It's a higher pressure, puts the oxygen into your blood plasma. So when your blood cell releases an oxygen to your muscle, it can pick it up off the blood plasma, and then it can re-release it to another muscle or again. So that's why you'll see some people use hyperbaric oxygen chambers, some people using elevation training, but it's all about getting more oxygen to your muscles. So it doesn't affect your strength other than in regards to having enough energy to perform the strength moves, if that makes sense.
Brian Redband is commenting, TJ Dillashaw used to train at altitude in Colorado, and then he said, nah, I'll just shoot it in my butt cheeks.
EPO, baby.
Corey Dowd
And I
is
was
commenting.
bang butter.
Corey is commenting, who needs altitude when you have cocaine? You gotta love these. We gotta love these.
You don't have strippers.
You gotta love these comments. Oh man.
I love Cerrone. Okay, he's a great fighter. He's like the tungsten cowboy. He's one of the toughest guys around. And you took that fight on 6 weeks, brother. Let me tell you something. You're a beast because that guy comes from the mountains, okay? And that guy trains. He runs snowmobiles. He does all kinds of stuff like that. You know, anybody who complains about that fight with you and him, that's ridiculous, man. That's
No, I don't think
ridiculous.
anyone's complaining.
Nah,
I don't think anyone's complaining about it. It's a great fight. Could
that was a great
have done a
fight.
few things different.
In hindsight, we all could have.
Right.
Great.
These things
You know.
happen.
Sure.
Awesome,
Well,
brother.
I just want to tell you, I'm a great fan of yours. Your show is awesome. We got the name Iaquinta in my family, so you know, I'm a particular fan of yours, Al. And I
There we
wish you
go.
all the
I-
best. bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Brooklyn in the house. Take care. Be well. We got a comment from Lauretta Lahus asking me, what am I eating? I am eating the chocolates sent to me by Chase the Bouncer. The bouncer who was on the show last week that choked out one Dylan Dennis.
Boom.
He's a legend, and as much of a legend as he is,
He's an
his
unsung
chocolates
hero.
are unsung
How
hero.
many stripes
Chocolates
did
are
he have on his
legendary.
white belt?
Oh, he did a week of Krav Maga,
Hey,
and
Willie
now he's making his rounds around the MMA community, podcasts and gyms, ADCC. He's been invited to free tickets to shows. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yep.
And yeah,
but
it's
where did you hear him
incredible.
first? Where did you hear him first?
You heard him first right here on the Call Me Al show.
Damn straight. We got another caller, Al.
Bring him on.
You're on the Call Me Al show.
No way.
Way.
No way. What's up, Al? What's up, dude?
What's
Howdy.
up, guys? You are live. That's Aaron. That's
Right on.
Elvis, and you can call me Al.
That's Aaron.
Hey, what's up, Al? This half thing is kind of silly. Trying to figure this out.
Listen, you know what? It's the Haps app. We're growing together. The Call Me Al show and the Haps app. It's bringing us together from all the way from Australia to New York to Aaron. Where are you right now?
I am in Missouri, baby. I'm in
Missouri.
Missouri.
And I'm really impressed how the Haps app has inverted my image to be the same as you guys, because obviously I'm upside down right now. And living in the future, I should point that out. It is Friday here, so I'm ahead of you guys.
Sweet. Hey, caller, can you either take it off speakerphone or turn down your volume a little bit because you're echoing real bad?
No, you know what I was doing is I was holding phone in my hand. Yeah, is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Way better. And yeah, we got Elvis is in the future.
Mhm.
I guess
And upside down.
How's Bitcoin?
and he's upside down. Yeah, how is Bitcoin doing over there? Give
I
us some.
can do it tomorrow.
It's the same as it was yesterday. Don't kill yourself, mate.
Shit.
I'm trying to watch the trends.
I'm out in California.
Out in California. Where you at in California?
Say again?
Where you at in California?
Chico,
Nice.
Chico, California, North California.
Nice. Don't know much about it, but
The dudes from the fights. This one of the dudes from the fights this weekend went to my high school. Actually, he repped. His name was Maximus. From Oregon. He represented Chico. He shouted out Chico. It's pretty cool.
oh yeah, there we go.
Represent.
Yeah, so I was pretty stoked on that. Man, this is crazy. You guys are awesome. I'm stoked that Al has a podcast now. You're one of my favorites, man.
This isn't a podcast. This is a show, my guy.
Here you go. All right.
We got the show.
Showcast.
The
It's a
king of rock
showcast.
and the
Did I
king
make something
of
up?
rock and rumble is. This is a show. Come on.
Showcast. If that term becomes famous, I want royalties.
I like it. I like it. The showcast.
Perfect.
So Al, I was wondering, I've been trying to maybe get into the real estate. I just kind of like I'm like fucking fuck growing up, dude. Like I'm 30, I'm about to be 33, kind of tripping on what I don't want to be outside working all day anymore. So I've been thinking about real estate. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about how to get or how you essentially got involved in, like, you know, maybe some beginner steps or things that I could, you know, maybe head towards, you know, like you mentioned, you know, the COVID and then like time.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I hear.
you definitely it's a full-time thing. You got to dedicate a lot of time to it. I was injured. I had a knee injury. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to be able to fight again. I crutched my way into the real estate agent course, and I got my license as fast as I could, and that was my introduction. There's a few different ways you can go about it. You can go the investor route, or you can go the sales route. Sales, if you have a good network of people that you know that are looking to buy houses, you sell them houses, you get a nice commission check. The investing side of things, if you have a little bit of money or you know somebody that has a little bit of money, you can find a good deal. You basically are the matchmaker between the person with a lot of money and the house that will give them a good return on their investment. I would say there's a lot online. There's so much at your fingertips. Bigger Pockets the Bigger Pockets podcast and Bigger Pockets, I think it's biggerpockets.com, is a great tool that will give you all the information that you need to get started. But it's it's definitely a full-time gig, something you got to put a lot of work into. But once you get the ball rolling, you definitely have a lot more free time to do what you want to do. You buy a couple of houses, or you help a couple people buy houses. You set up property management, and it becomes very passive. Your money will work for itself, and then you can do what you want to do and have a lot more free time. So I'd say that's probably the best way to get started.
It's interesting. It sounds, you know. And there's just another question. Sorry to like totally branch off. I've been like, it's just crazy to even get to talk to you, man. You're seriously you're a hero, my dude. You're and East Coast, man. I was born in Boston, so go East Coast.
East Coast guy.
There's different licenses in different states, right? Because another thing I want to do is I want to get the fuck out of California. And then go
Everyone
back
does.
East Coast, but yeah, dude, it's pretty. And where I live is it's a college town for sure, but it's like super northern California. It's where I can't do the bullshit city. It's just not for me. Maybe somewhere, I don't know.
Where would you go? Where would you end up? You know what? I'm yeah, I don't know. That's up to you. It depends what you like. I'm a big ocean guy. I need to be near the coast, so I'm trapped between a few different places. Sydney, Australia is one of them. The home of the king
We
himself.
always love having you down here.
I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get back. I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon, but
Hopefully next year.
yeah, next winter, probably about a year and a couple months from right now, I'll be boarding a 24-hour flight to the future, and hopefully things will be a lot different then, and we'll be having a lot different conversations. But who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But as far as real estate goes, yeah, I mean, you'd have to. There's different licenses for different states. Some states you can you can kind of transfer your license over. If you're licensed in New York, I know that you can work in like Connecticut and maybe a few other states. Some they have reciprocating licenses. Some you have to just take a quick test, and some you have to do the whole course over again. So that's that's something you got to look into. And where you want to live that's up to you, man. You know, depending on what your lifestyle's like, what you like to do. Yeah.
These sound good.
Awesome, man. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. Definitely.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Keep that number on the dial if you have any more questions as you get into real estate. I'd love to stay up on your journey. So keep calling in and keep me updated. I'd suggest start out, go to biggerpockets.com and browse, see if you want to go the investor route, if you want to go the real estate agent route, and yeah, you can get started. It's a exciting time, but be prepared to put in a lot of work before you can be doing real estate, sipping pina coladas on the beach.
Start reading. I mean, as with anything, read up about it. Have a look at where you want to move. Look at what their legislation is. I think it's one of the advantages of us being fighters. We tend to be obsessive compulsive about whatever we do. So there's no half-assing. If you want to succeed at anything, you got to just dive in 100%, start learning about it, start understanding it, and do exactly what you're doing now. Start asking questions, talk to people in the industry, and good luck with it.
Hey, thanks, guys. And like I said, man, Australia sounds good. I've always wanted to time travel, so maybe I'll see you guys in the future.
Look forward to seeing you here in the future.
All right, guys. Take it easy, y'all. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You got it, man.
We are getting lots of calls. Before I take this next one, I just want to give a few shout outs from last week. Bobby Boucher from YouTube and the Drunk Investor, they donated on with the super chats. So Bobby wanted you to call out Benil after you win, and the Drunk Investor said, Al, let me get a main card parlay. And then on Haps, we had Enos Castro, More Sauce, John Flaherty, and Peter Bittner donate. So let's get to this next caller if you would like.
Bring him on.
Shout out Mitch Clark is on the broadcast somewhere.
Wow, Mitch Clark. Oh, man.
Welcome, Miss Clark.
So maybe we can invite him into Haps, and I think we got the caller.
I just got PTSD from hearing Mitch Clark's name.
Who the fuck is that door going to pop right on my screen? I'm going to hear Al talk.
Dude, you are shot.
Wow. What's your name, young lady?
My name. My name.
Oh
No,
man.
Elvis.
My name.
Oh boy.
Young girl, what's your name? Aaron goes to young lady, what's your name? You're fucking great, bro.
All right.
I thought I was the only one that did that.
What is
You ever went?
Whoa!
what did he say?
They called me a dirty Jew.
Motherfucker, shit's embarrassed because Bobby Greenway whooped your motherfucking ass, boy. I got money on Bobby. I got money on Bobby, baby. Already.
Okay.
That's
So
unfortunate.
it's all to make the world go round.
Wow. What a interesting young fella right there. Yeah, I think he's a high school teacher. We don't know. All right.
When the estrogen outweighs the testosterone.
Woo. All
Yeah,
right.
that guy was definitely a really smart guy. Definitely some sort of teacher. Aaron, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to take a leave shortly. So I don't know if you want to take another call or if you got any other questions.
We'll get one more if you got time, Elvis. We'll take one more. Let's see who we got.
One more.
All right.
I really appreciate the time, and I've learned so much, and gotten the update on Australia, which is always
We
interesting.
can definitely do this again, you know. So I always enjoy chatting. As you probably discovered, I'm hard to shut up. So
We got one more caller for you, Elvis. I hope this is a good one. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, this is former Little League umpire and social drinker Corey Down. How you doing, Elvis?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to I wish the best to you and everybody else in Australia. But as a native Australian, I just want to ask, and if you've already said this, sorry, forgive me for tuning in late, but just want to see what you thought of Alexander Volkanovski's performance this past weekend.
Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, I know the guy's tough. He's resilient. He's driven. He works really hard. Beautiful performance. I'm not going to lie. I did absolutely shit myself for a moment when he was in that guillotine. But it looks like shaving his head paid off. He managed to slip out of it. I thought he was stunning that triangle. But he just had that tenacity. He didn't give up. It was a beautiful display through the fight. He really controlled the distance in the fight and did what I thought he needed to do to win, and he won it. And look, I think Ortega is a talent. He's got potential in the division. I think he has the ability to be a champion. I just don't think he's the best at applying a suitable game plan, or either that or his team isn't giving him the best game plan, because I just don't think he's fighting or training to where his strengths are. You can see where he's dangerous, but he has a habit of fighting at his opponent's strengths, which I just doesn't comprehend at the highest level. At the highest level, it's about, you know, being the best and doing whatever you're best at to kind of get the win. But man, Volko, beast. I've trained with him. I've met him a few times. Obviously, we're working on UFC Fight Week. Interviewed him. Super nice guy. Super down to earth, and I can't think of anyone more deserving to retain the championship and keep pushing forward. I mean, he really is a great role model as a fighter and an athlete and as a person. So very proud. He's a great Aussie. I know there are a lot of other great champions as well. But it's nice having an Aussie in there who actually represents our community.
He's outstanding. Ortega is a champion, short of Lance Hart. But I think we can all agree that Volkanovski was lucky that he was not in the octagon with the man, 155 pounds, Iaquinta, the king of Long Island. That's all I got to say. Everybody have a great night, fellas.
You too.
Enjoy, brother. Thank you so much for the call. Yeah, man, what a fight that was. Wow, the ebbs and flows back and forth in that third round from Volkanovski on the verge of getting choked out. gets out of it, lands a few, back in the triangle, Darce choke, to come back and almost finish the fight. I thought it was over. Ortega laying there on the ground.
Yeah, I know. But what's
Man,
even more
that was
impressive is Ortega in the last part of the fifth round. I thought he was in the fourth. He looked like he was spent. He was done. Volkanovski was kind of grinding him forward, looking like possibly was going to be able to finish him. And then the fifth round, I don't know, he switched. But that's again that he changed the way he fought a little bit, and he started fighting more to what he's good at, and started doing better. And I'm like, man, tough guy, tough kid. And again, it's what you see. Same with yourself, Al. You see it at that level. These guys, no one wants to lose. You can see it in the real fighters. They'll push on. Even like Volko could have cruised the fifth round, could have taken it easy, could have not taken risks. But when Ortega started trading with him, what did he do? Gave it back. He got in the pocket and started trading back with him. He didn't play safe. He didn't try and hide. He didn't try and protect himself from getting knocked out. No, he went out there trying to finish Ortega. I mean, Ortega had no choice. He knew the fight. He'd lost the fight. He needed the finish, and I love the way that he fought to try and get the finish. But man, respect to Volko going out there, knowing that he had won, not caring, still trying to finish and putting himself in the pocket to do it. So, great way to finish that fight as well.
no, absolutely, absolutely, brother. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You still got me?
Oh,
We still got you. We got you.
Is our
Oh,
caller's out?
Caller's gone. But I have another caller on. You got time for one more, Elvis? It's up to you.
Why not? What the hell?
All right. Caller, you're on the Call Me Out show.
Hello.
Aaron, now, you there?
We are here. You are talking to Aaron, Elvis, and Al.
And you can call him Al.
You can call me Al.
John from East Meadow. I wanted to call and talk about the main event, Merab, our champion, other than you, our hometown hero, Merab. Was an incredible fight, and I'd like your thoughts on that. And Al, I'm sure you had a lot to do with that. Merab is our champion, just like you are our champion. And Longo people have to stick together. And that was an incredible fight, and I want your thoughts.
It was an incredible fight. Elvis, did you catch that one? Merab, Dvalishvili.
No, I didn't catch that one, sadly.
Oh, so it was the main event of the prelims, and why is the other guy's name escaping me right now? Marlon Moraes.
Moraes.
Yeah, Merab Dvalishvili versus Marlon Moraes. And Marlon is super, super dangerous in the first round. He goes out there, and Merab eats a few leg kicks, gets a little I think he might have hit Marlon with a shot, and they get into a heated exchange. And they both throw a cross and a hook at the same time, and Marlon's hook just lands right on the button.
How many times have we seen that, huh?
Yeah, it was just a split second more precise and a little bit faster, and it landed just in the right spot, put Merab on ice skates. He was battling for his balance, getting hit. He got dropped. He gets back up. He gets dropped again. And Marlon's on top of him, raining down punches. The ref did a great job, and Merab did a great job by not moving. He kept moving, got back to his feet, and got the clinch. And once he got that clinch, I knew that Marlon had spent a lot of his energy. Merab is a guy that can go and go and go. And from then on out, maybe there was, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute left in the round. He put Marlon down with a right hand, takes him down, almost finished him. It looked like he knocked him out and then woke him up with another shot. So the last minute of that round was a whirlwind back and forth, people debating on who won that round because Merab was basically one punch from finished, and then within an instant is now on top, raining down punches again, one punch away from finished. Crazy first round, comes out beginning of the second, lands a right hand takedown, and then after some control on the ground was able to finish him. One of the craziest fights we've seen in a while, and then sure enough, it probably would have been fight of the night if it weren't for that main event. But yeah,
I'll have to fire up my Fight Pass and check it out. Because of the time difference, I don't watch them as much live. I watch them delayed afterwards. I've got my little one, so I spend time with him during the day, and then in the evening, I'll actually jump in the sauna and watch. Fire up my Fight Pass and watch fights while I'm in the sauna. So
Nice.
part of my health routine, I get to enjoy my MMA and get a good sweat out as well.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely, that's one that you want to check out. Merab Dvalishvili. If anyone wasn't a fan of his after watching that fight, you guaranteed will be the toughest, as tough as they come, and just an absolute cardio machine. I think that's a fight that's going to put him over with the fans, and he's looking at a top 5 opponent right now. All the top 5 of the bantamweight division, it looks like they all just got signed to fights. So he's probably looking at the winner of Aldo Ravfont. Dominic Cruz is fighting somebody.
I don't know who does.
Dominic Cruz is fighting. Yeah. But I think he's going to be looking at the winner of one of those guys, maybe the beginning of the year. The rest of those guys, they're fighting in December, so maybe January, February, March. I think is going to be a big fight for Merab. Who do we got with Dominic Cruz?
Pedro Munoz.
Pedro
That'll be a
Munoz.
good one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good
So
one.
I think, definitely a fight that was a highlight. Definitely not something you want to be doing every time you're in the
I catch
octagon.
up with you eventually.
It's definitely one of the fights that will catch up. But man, what a victory! What a come from behind feat. It was just incredible. Incredible.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
For sure.
In between the rounds, with Master Serra and Ray saying, "Now it's your time. Now it's your time." I was on pins and needles. Master Serra screaming, and Ray is like, "It's your time, Rob. It's your fucking time." And I was like, "Oh, being a Long Island guy, this is great." And Master Serra is screaming, and then what was it? How many unanswered punches? And I felt, even though I don't train these days, I like to think of myself as an honorary member of Team Serra Longo.
You guys want to hear that clip?
Support you guys.
He's Meadow in the house.
You want to hear that clip real quick?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, let's go. Hang on here. Let me get it started. All right. Why is it going?
No. Yeah, Merab! Ray, Merab! We said we were walking through fire for this. This is what you just did. Let's go, now it's your turn. Your turn, Merab. Perfect. Beautiful. Don't get careless, man. No more water. Okay. Let's go. We push a hard pace, buddy. That was his shot. You got your shot. Let's go. Break him now. Break. It's your fucking turn, Merab. Keep that fake. He don't want to be on the ground again. Fake those shots and go. Beautiful. What? Fake the shot. Stand up and then put him down. Put him down again. Yeah, come on, Merab. Your turn.
Awesome.
Well, he's right. I got goosebumps listening to that.
Oh, that's awesome. That really is. Team Serra Longo. Oh man, I love you guys. You know what? I don't want to take up too much time for other callers, but I want to thank you guys for taking the call. And always, Long Island's great. Everyone be good to each other. Be respectful like Merab, and train. Train and just be good. Be a good person in life. And I love the show. This is a great show. I look forward to it every Thursday. And shout out to all the listeners, even the haters. It's an amazing show. And it's awesome. I love. When I live a couple of towns away from you. I live a couple of towns away from Matt, Merab, everyone, and Long Islanders have to sit together. And God bless everybody.
East Meadow in the house. Shout out the hometown of Matt Serra. I appreciate you, my brother, and yeah, great words to live by. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right.
Elvis, it has been a pleasure having you on and getting to talk to you again. Tremendous amount of knowledge and passionate about everything you do. It's something that it's an inspiration to me, and I'm sure everybody else. We'll leave you with Corey Dowd saying, Elvis, I'm not sure how much you know about American football, but the New York Jets could use a coach, a quarterback, or possibly both. Can you get to East Rutherford, New Jersey by Sunday?
That's going to be tight because it's already Friday here, so doesn't give me one day.
Not looking great. It looks like without Elvis, the Jets are going down again.
Damn.
Again, been an absolute pleasure. Always fun chatting with you. I mean, we can definitely do it again. Hopefully next time I have a little bit more time. I got an appointment for my little one. I got to go to a daycare and interview because he's getting to that age where he needs to start playing with other kids. So priorities, you know what it's like. But as I said, we'll do it again. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you guys for having me on. And always remember, it's good to be the king. And hopefully I can have a haircut next time as well. These damn lockdowns.
Hey, you get the COVID grow out. It's a look. It's a look nowadays. That's for sure. Elvis, it's been a pleasure. Take care and good luck with
guys.
everything.
Yeah, great. Finally,
Cheers.
thank you. Awesome.
All right, man.
Woo.
The king of rock and rumble.
How cool is that guy?
That guy he's the coolest. They don't come any cooler than him. I was kind of pissed off at that caller that they called him that guy or something.
Oh.
This people don't, maybe because they're not from Australia. I mean, or whatever it was. The guy that we just had on, Elvis Sinosic, fought the likes of Ken Shamrock, Tito Ortiz, Evan Tanner, Forrest Griffin, Babalu Sobral, and defeated Jeremy Horn in the UFC. This is a guy that put Australian MMA. He was the pioneer of Australian MMA, the first Australian MMA champion from Sydney, living in Sydney, Australia right now. One of my favorite places in the world to visit. I was in Australia about 2, 3, I don't know, time's flying right now. It could have been 5 years ago now. And I did a seminar at Elvis's gym, and man, he's just the coolest guy. He's got a gym, and his gym, you could tell by the way they train and the people that were in his gym. He just does the right thing. He's just a good guy with his priorities straight, and it's incredible.
Did you know they also fought a young aspiring broadcaster that happens to be a fan of the Call Me Out show? I believe this young man's name is Michael Bisping.
He did fight Michael Bisping as well. That's right.
And you may not know this, listeners, but Michael Bisping reached out to the Call Me Al show and wanted a little bit of information on which is probably it is confirmed now, he is our most viral guest to date. It's the bouncer. It's the bouncer.
And rightfully so. The guy, these are the kind of people that we like to promote to greatness here on the Call Me Out show. Chance, the bouncer, just a guy doing his job in the right place at the right time, doing his job tremendously. We bring him on the show, and now look at him.
Oh, he's doing well.
They're bringing
he's
getting
a lot of attention.
People can't get enough of this guy. And
I
I like to
don't
think that. What was
sorry,
that? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think people understand what we're trying to do here on the Call Me Out show. Michael Bisping, he'd be a great guest, sure. But you know who we really wanted to talk to? That guy that punched him in New Orleans.
Oh, we got to get that guy.
Got to get
With
that
guy. If you can, for the people listening out there, we got to get the guy that punched Michael Bisping, because that guy's got a story.
He does.
And you know what, Aaron? Before I forget.
Yes, sir.
I want to plug a friend of mine. My friend Tom and his wife Kelly. They were members of Ray Longo's gym years back, and when I got my real estate license, I was sitting in the office and I was like, man, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know, like, I'm listening to my broker and he's making calls all day. He's putting deals together. And I'm looking at him like, dude, how do I do that? Like, how do I start? And he goes, text everybody in your phone and let them know that you're now selling real estate. And if they need any help to, that you're willing to help. So I texted everybody, and about an hour later, I got a text back from Tom, and he said, me and my wife, Kelly, are looking to sell our house in Middle Island, and we would like to move to Wantor, Long Island, my hometown. So I put together a little sales pitch. I went out to them, and I listed their house, and I got it sold pretty quickly. They just started a party company called Sounds Like a Party. And if you go to my Instagram, you can click on the giveaway. If you live in Long Island or in the boroughs, you click, you comment, and you tag somebody in the comments. They're going to pick one person to give a free party to. These are people that helped me out tremendously. They put a lot of trust in me before I sold a house before. And I guess just from they saw how I conducted myself in the gym, they knew that I would do a great job for them. I went above and beyond. And Sounds Like a Party is a company that I'm guaranteeing will hold those same traits. DJs, lights, music, tents, fog machines, everything. If you're looking to have a party, look at my Instagram story, click on that post, comment, and tag somebody in it. And if you're lucky enough, Tom and Kelly are going to pick you, and you're going to have a free party. You can invite all your friends. If you got kids, might as well do it right now, please, for a good friend of mine. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Aaron? Did I plug it all right?
Oh my gosh, sounds amazing. I mean, it does sound amazing. And you know
what it sounds like?
What's it sound like?
It sounds like a party.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Perfect. Perfect. Would you like to play the clip of the story? It's a very interesting story of how Michael Bisping reached out to you.
Let's play it.
Let's play it because you know what? The old account can still get people. I'm not going to spoil it anymore.
So anyway, so what happened was last week, listen to this story. It's fucking hilarious because he did the classic, the most douchiest line in the world. And I know this because Iaquinta, we all love Raging Al. He's got a podcast, Call Me Al. So do him a favor. Find that on YouTube and give him a little subscribe. Al's a great guy trying to do what he can. So the Call Me Al podcast. And this was actually kind of funny because I wanted to know the details. So I looked up Raging Al on Twitter and I sent him a DM. And I actually got a message back from the account saying, no. This is Iaquinta's parody account. But don't worry, I'm friends with who I, incidentally, I'm the producer on his podcast. I'll forward it to Al. So I sent my number and Al called me straight away. And I said, so go on, what happened? Because they had the doorman that choked out Dylan Dennis on Al's podcast, right? Hilarious. So we got it from the horse's mouth. So Al tells me that this guy says he's working at a bar in somewhere called Seaside, New Jersey.
Well, how did Al say it?
He said, well, we'll do that in a minute.
He's working on a fucking bar.
I can't do it now. I can do it. Before we came on, I was doing an impression of him.
It was the best. It was going to be another Bisping classic. What happened?
I can't fucking do it now. Anyway. But he says this doorman is working, right? And there's a bunch of people show up from a wedding. About 50 people show up. They've been to a wedding. They're all a little buzzed. They've had a good time. And they're coming to the bar. And as they're coming in, obviously everyone has to show ID, which I still forget to do sometimes. You know what I mean? Because in the UK, that's not a rule. But it is here, as everyone knows who listens to this show. So you got to have ID. Dylan Dennis walks up and he says, ID. He says, I don't have any ID, but I'm Dylan Dennis. And he's like, yeah, that means nothing to me. He says, no, I'm Dylan Dennis.
I'm Bilbo Baggins. Nice to meet you.
The famous MMA fighter. He says, oh, sorry, mate, I've never heard of you. You're going to have to show him some ID. So then, but he said the line, said, don't you know who I am? Right? Which is just the number one cringiest fucking thing you ever say. And then on top of that, he doubles down with a cringe. We should start calling him Henry Cejudo. He then Googles himself and shows it to the doorman. He says, look, that's me. Right? And the doorman says, well, that's really cool. That's great, but it's not a fucking acceptable form of ID.
Broken here first.
Incredible. I mean, I'm just eating some of the chocolate right now.
My God.
Excuse me.
My gosh. But yeah, listen. Everyone now wants. Nobody else was reaching out to this guy, and all of a sudden we made it cool. Everybody's reaching out to him.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for the guy. Grease Monking. Is this the Call Me Al show or the One Eye Willie show? It's yeah. Grease Monking, you're hysterical, bro. You know who I did want to bring on, Aaron?
Yes.
I wanted to bring on a couple of people, but Al Iaquinta.
Oh,
is he in here still?
I will find him and invite him because he has been lurking the whole broadcast. Al Iaquinta, if you're on, make a little quick comment. Otherwise, I will search for you real quick. All right, Al. Yes, and the other, I can't remember his name now. He called in. He was a nice fella. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. Al. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to search for him. So, if you're still on here, buddy, keep a commenting, and we will invite you in. Brian Redband
said he's here.
See him. I got him. All right. I'm inviting you in, Al. I am a quitter. I don't really approve of the name, but you can explain that. I don't know what Grease Monking's talking about half the time, but God bless you, Grease Monkey.
Teaming up with Sahun.
Sean. He's trying to say Sean. I get it now. Snake Ball Dog.
Sean, is that the guy he's Fighting?
Yeah, it's the Tasmania Fight League. All right. So that Al, let's see, he is invited in, so hopefully he can figure out how to get in here. Oh, and David wants to come back. Should we invite him as well?
Yeah, let's get it. We'll get to Al. We'll get to Al. We'll get to this guy.
I know
David,
David.
we'll get you. We'll get you eventually. We got to get this guy. He's been talking. He created an Instagram account with me, looking like I don't know what he's trying to do, but he said he was going to come on. I said I guarantee this guy will not show his face.
No.
Enos
Throwing money at us.
Enos was one of our biggest haters. Now he's making us rich.
Look at that. He's never come back on. We wanted to clear the year with Enos, and we've invited him several times, but he's never taken us up on it. So
Where's this Al I'm a quitter guy? We got to get this guy. Ken Buchan. Is that like one of those things?
I don't know what that is.
Ken Buchan. Is that like a Ken Buchan? Is that like where you say it and it means something? You know what I mean? Like the guy did last week. What is it?
Lester.
Yeah, it's Mo. There was Mo Lester last week. Is Ken Buchan? I'm trying to think. I can't think. That might be his real name. Ken Buchan. Can you figure it out? What's the deal?
Oh, I do have a question for you. So, and this is a question for me, not from a fan, but was Matt Serra like actively not cornering? Did he make the conscious decision he wasn't going to corner for a while?
Yeah, I think that whole thing with Aljo kind of came out of left field, and I don't, it was like a weird time, COVID, and then Aljo was in Vegas, and Matt felt left out, and I think Matt kind of was just like, I think he was a little hurt by the whole thing, so he said, you know what, I can't. It was a little different, things were different, but yeah, no, Merab asked him to be in the corner, and it's hard to say no to Merab. You know what I mean? Like Merab's is one of the guys that's got such a genuine heart, and I think a few other things happened since then that kind of changed Matt's opinion on things, and I'm very happy that he's back, and I'm pretty sure everything goes as planned. He'll be in my corner, and he's cornering guys this weekend. He's cornering guys to follow. We have got guys fighting. We've got guys fighting the next 3 weeks in a row. A regional show, Ring of Combat, amateurs. Brian Redband says, and if I have trained with Aljo at Extreme Couture or Syndicate, I've trained at Syndicate. A little bit at Extreme Couture, but not really so much. Have we been able to get this guy? Is he just not coming on?
He's not coming on.
See?
Well, David, I invited you. You can come on in. At least we can get you queued up.
And then, you know what? I just realized that Lauretta was in here. I don't know if Lauretta is still here.
Oh,
Loretta's a nurse in New York State.
Oh, there she is. She's saying hi. Let's invite her as well. Lauretta Lahu.
If we have any other medical professionals that have been affected by this whole nonsense in New York.
We do have a phone caller. Do you want to see if this is possibly a medical professional?
Yeah, bring him in.
Okay. And Lauretta is standing by as well. Let's take this caller real quick. Hello, you're on the Call Me Out show.
Hey, thank you very much. I hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
We got you. You're on the
Thank
Call
you.
Me Al show with Aaron. You can call me Al.
Yep, and that was an awesome guest you guys had. That I remember Elvis Sinosic very well, and have trained with Jeremy Horn. And it was I remember when Elvis submitted Horn in UFC. So that was fun to get to hear how he's doing. He looked great.
Yeah, that guy's a beast, man. That guy's a legend. Absolute legend.
Yeah,
Australian
totally.
legend.
Absolutely.
Super knowledgeable about everything, it seems. No? That guy just he was just spitting facts left and right. He knew the percent of oxygen that one has at sea level, at altitude. I was
Wow.
impressed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was cool. And I know everybody's been talking about it, but man, those were some good fights on that last UFC card. Of course, the main event was exciting, and that between that you were just talking about, Adriana Moraes versus the Russian, whose name I'm not sure. But man, I was like, that was fight of the year right there. And then the main event comes on, but there was some exciting fights, and the return of Nick Diaz. I called in once. This is my second time calling. We were anticipating the Nick Diaz return, and then it kind of went as a lot of us kind of expected, because he's been away for so long. But that was an exciting card. What was your guys'
Nick Diaz looked good while he was
Yeah.
in there. I mean, it's kind of like the same Nick Diaz, just throwing. He threw punches the entire time, and then he just stopped throwing punches and said,
Check, please.
That'll be check, please. That'll be it.
Yeah, I figure it's got to catch up to you eventually. Like, I want to see the fighters not come away with, CTE and things like that. And, I figured he might have a little of that from all of the sledgehammer punches that he could walk through, and, then he comes back and takes another fight against a pit bull like Robbie Lawler. So yeah, I thought he did great. I was glad that he stopped when he did and got, hopefully got paid well. It's like he deserves some pay-per-view points on that, because a lot of they were saying the casual MMA fans don't follow Shevchenko and even the Brian Ortegas or the Volkanovskis. They're like, oh, Nick Diaz, we'll watch it, and no pay-per-view points. But hope he got a good payday for that. He deserves it.
I'm saying he made a good amount of money for that. You know what I mean?
I hope so. But that was a hell of a good card. There was some good fights, man. Honestly, it makes me tear up. The Volkanovski fight when Ortega jumped on him, when he followed him down and landed in that mounted guillotine. Like, you watch that, it was like just right on him, and it's like it was over. Like, no way. I thought, no way, he's getting out of that. It's over. I said, okay, Ortega's the new champ, and Volkanovski gets out. So that was one of the most exciting, little dramatic moments, I think, in MMA for a long time.
Yeah, dude, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Do you think that Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to catch Brian Laundrie down in Florida?
Oh, good question. Thanks for asking. I love that guy, Dog. Man, that guy, they had an FBI's most wanted top 10 drug dealer out of Mexico. And he had been a top 10 most wanted. The FBI couldn't catch him for like years. They put dog on him, and 48 hours later, they had custody. That guy's a stud. And I read a clickbait. What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I read a little. It could have been a clickbait thing, so I didn't read but it showed dog at supposedly a campsite that Brian Laundrie was at, and he said he was here. And I sure hope he catches him. And it would be, I think if anybody's going to do it, he's the most likely guy to do it. And we don't know for sure, but I mean, that guy's probably guilty as hell. And everything he's doing and saying points to he killed this girl. And I was thinking, interestingly, I was thinking about that. And I was thinking, if the parents are covering for him and they know something that he killed this girl, I would hit them with aiding and abetting a first-degree murder and look at them for doing prison time as well. But I sure hope he catches that guy. That guy's a scumbag. And I watched the video of, when they were all stressed out and driving through the Moab arches. And for some reason they were fighting and stuff. And it was kind of weird, but the cops, they admitted to some mutual domestic violence, and the cops said, okay, well, we'll just let you go. I'm like, huh. But yeah, man, I sure hope that he catches him. What do you guys think? Do you guys think dog's going to get that guy? Because the guy might end up committing suicide. That's one possible outcome. Laundrie.
Yeah, Aaron, what do you think, man? You think the dog's got this guy? I think if I'm Brian Laundrie, I'm in trouble.
I just threw up a graphic too a minute ago for all you audio listeners where he basically rented a plane saying aloha, dog the bounty hunter did saying aloha, Brian Laundrie. Listen, this dog, wow. I mean, he pretty much catches everybody, right?
Man, I used to watch his show and how he breaks down the process of tracking them, and they stay on the guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let's talk to everybody. What do you guys know? They go to where the guy might have been last. Do you guys know this guy? Do you guys know this guy? Yeah, you do. What does he do? You know who I am? Yeah, I'm after this guy. Like, can you help me out? And then they go to the next place, and then they're questioning everybody, and they're like, yeah, we think he's inside. We're not going anywhere. And I don't even know what the legal rights of the bounty hunter are. Like, can they enter the house? Do they just have to wait outside the house if the owners of the house refuse entry? But I guess with this guy, they'd probably call the cops and get the. But I don't know. I don't know. Then the cops take him away from him. But I sure hope he gets him. I think that's going to be.
I think there's more to this story. Imagine he didn't kill her. Imagine some craze like he was, because it was weird that he came back. He drove her van back, and he was back for like a week, and then he left. The whole thing is just weird. And look, the guy, if he did kill her, he's that's it's horrible. If he was, but look, she looks like she's like all cute and everything. She's crazy too. Her friends crazy. They're crazy. She's not. She's no innocent. Freaking. There's some crazy. There's more going on to this story. I'm telling you.
Oh.
There's more to this story.
I saw that. She's crazy too, 100%. But his behavior was not correct to me for an innocent man, because if my fiance is missing and the cops say, what do you know? I'm going to say, wait a second, my fiance is missing. Where the fuck is, what do you guys need to know? And let's get out there and find her. I wouldn't say, oh, I'm not going to discuss it. Like, you can contact my attorney.
What if the two of them killed? There were two people that turned up dead. It kind of like didn't. I don't know. You heard a little bit about it, but what if the two of them killed somebody together? Imagine that. The two of them were partners in crime, and then they got into an argument about it, and the cops saw them, and then they both kept it cool. She's crying. He's not.
Who was the other person that died? I only know about the girl.
From what I heard, there were two people found dead somewhere along the way, and they were in some way connected to this whole thing. And it was mentioned pretty quickly. I don't know if we can pull something up. Two dead Brian Laundrie, right? We're gonna try to fit. There we go. I don't know. That's what I heard. I heard something about this. We're gonna have to do more research. I might just be talking shit, but I heard that there were. What do you got?
I got nothing.
No one else? No one else has heard this? Has anyone else heard this? That two other people were found dead?
I might have. I didn't know if they knew that it was connected or not. Yeah, they could be like Bonnie and Clyde. Sorry. Go ahead, you guys.
Somebody private messaged me. It said dead body, but they didn't say it was recent.
Yeah.
But I'm not finding anything.
Missing Florida woman and slain couple unrelated. Okay, so they're saying it's unrelated.
Okay.
The Utah County Sheriff said Friday detectives have determined there's no connection between the disappearance of a Florida woman who went missing, cross-country trip with a boyfriend, Gabby, and two women who were fatally shot. There's something else going on with this.
Yeah. There's a podcaster called Van Shake or something, and he analyzes body language, and he's a cool one to you could check his channel out. And he did the body language breakdown of Laundrie and the girl, Gabby, I think, I forget her name, but and why her story was a little bit more when they separated them. Her story was a little, even though she's crazy, she came across as crazy. I don't want to be disrespectful, but he was lying about things and deferring things, and they have a lot of self-soothing gestures, and when they do certain things with their mouth, and there's certain techniques that they can use to analyze when to guess if somebody might be lying. And he was like, yeah, this guy's full of shit. And so it's sad. I think that if my wife's gone missing, I'm cooperating with the police and saying, how can I help? And then let's go find her, but and that she disappeared from social media, and they said that she wasn't contacting like anybody for that week that he went back to visit family. That's what I think. He went, and supposedly he flew back to help the dad move some furniture or something. And like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're rich and you're careful with your money, you don't need to get on a plane to do a day's worth of manual labor, that anybody could do. He went back to say, you know what, this is what happened. What am I going to do? And they said, they're going to hang you. So we're going to have to get you out of town, or we're going to get you a lawyer, and then we're going to get you out of town. So they probably, he's probably living in another country now with his parents' money, and I don't know, man, but I think that he probably did it. And even though she might have had her own issues, she didn't deserve that. Maybe they should have just punched each other, and but you don't. Yeah, I just have that feeling that he did it, but innocent till guilty. What did you guys talk about the John Jones thing? That sure turned into a mess.
It's awful.
Jesus.
Like, it's awful. I don't know how much you've heard about it, Al. I'm sure you've heard quite a bit, but like some of the stuff they say he did, not good.
Yeah,
No.
guys, he's out of control again. It seems like, yeah. But what are you gonna do to the guy? He's got, the UFC. He's a UFC fighter. The UFC kind of like not needs him, but out of all the fighters, they'd cut 20 guys before they cut him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
Not good.
It's-
I don't know. You want to hear this Dana White clip? I think he summed it up pretty good. It's a short one.
go for it.
It's hard to bring this guy to Las Vegas for any reason. The city is not good for John Jones. And here we are again.
What was your reaction when you first got the news that there had been another incident?
It's like it's not even shocking anymore. It's when we bring him here, it's almost expected. You can't even get him in Las Vegas for less than 12 hours to induct him into the Hall of Fame. It's a problem. This guy's got a lot of demons, man. A lot of demons.
That's for sure.
Crazy.
Because Jones made a statement and a Jesse on Fire guy kind of got frustrated by that statement. Jones just said his statement about the whole thing was, I'm going to turn this into the most positive thing for myself ever. And it was like, you got to own that stuff. Like, he hit his wife and the kid saw it, and the kid was freaked out, and the wife was too scared to say anything. And the kid said, can you call the police? The poor little girl witnessed, and because there was blood, she had a fat lip, and she had blood on, like a swollen lip. There was blood on the bed. There was blood on the floor. That's what they said. And Jones had been out all night partying. He went and got 10 grand to go give to strippers and stuff. And the wife has to just say, okay, honey, be good, And I guess don't know how much money the guy's got, but 10 grand for strippers and cocaine for that night, I guess. And then he probably went through it in 3 hours and realized that was a waste. And now he's pissed, and he comes home and, admitted, I pulled her hair, or I didn't want her to leave, or, that I don't know, but there being blood and a fat lip, and the kid being freaked out to the point where the kid says, call the police on my dad. That's really sad. And then that John didn't say anything like, I really might have messed up here. I don't know, man. You got to keep your mouth shut if you want to minimize the legal ramifications, I guess. But it's just John Jones is such a narcissist that it's all about him, and he is great. He is arguably the GOAT in MMA, but outside of the ring, not so much. I do feel bad for him. He's got a lot of stress. I think he should stay away from that woman for a while.
Well, I don't feel bad
No.
for him. He makes poor decision after poor decision. It's not like he doesn't know better by now.
Jeff's
Yeah,
so-called cold pizza. And the terms they get thrown away, they get thrown around. You just said narcissist. He's saying Jones is a sociopath. These terms they get thrown around a lot. You always hear, "Oh, narcissist." I had an ex that called me a narcissist. For a second I thought I was a narcissist, but then you look into it a little more. You go to therapy, and you're like, "Am I a narcissist?" And they're like, "No, everyone's got narcissistic tendencies." But this guy, he fits the bill. When you're getting arrested and you just beat your fiance, significant other, whatever it is, in front of kids, and the response is, "How dare you arrest me on this great day of my life, the best day of my life. I just got inducted into the Hall of Fame." That's a little sick.
Yeah.
And then he challenges all. He said, wouldn't it be funny if you took all the handcuffs and would see how many of you it would take to take me down? That's a sick guy right there. That's out of control.
Yeah, that's when we're not friends anymore. The cops are thinking, like, no, how about we leave the cuffs on you and we just shoot you in the face with our taser? The other thing, the reason I didn't like John Jones was because of the repeated DUIs. And, then he had a hit and run and he fucking got probation. Like, he had a hit and run after multiple other DUIs. And then he takes off and waits till the alcohol is out of his system and then turns himself in. And the lawyers are like, the most important thing is John was not drunk. and he slipped on a banana peel and fell asleep for a couple days. And then he came in and turned himself in the minute the alcohol was out of his system. I mean, the minute, he realized he should turn himself in, he was drunk again and hit that pregnant lady and knocked her car over, broke her arm, and fled the scene. That's bad, man. Like,
I hate to cut you off, Aaron. Let's bring in Lauretta because she's got some comments here.
Yeah, she's been blown. All right, so Lauretta, I'm gonna bring you in and unmute your mic.
Cole, stay on. We'll talk about this because this is a very very interesting topic right now, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes forward. You heard Dana White. I don't know if you heard him in the press conference after the Contender Series. They asked him what would they ever think about cutting John Jones, and Dana, he definitely tiptoed around the question and said, "We're going to do what we always do. We're going to wait to see how it plays out legally." And so he wouldn't really make any comment either way. Lauretta, are you in here?
Nope, she's unmuted. Oh, Lauretta, can you hear us? Well, shoot. Well, she is
Lauretta.
She can hear us, but we can't hear her.
Well, gosh darn it. I don't know, Lauretta. Your mic is up on my end. You may have to try going out and coming back in. We're very sorry about this if that's the case. So I don't know why you can't speak either. All right, so she just disconnected. She's going to try to come in.
And Alan, a quitter. Ken Buchan, you keep commenting on the thing. I thought you were going to come on.
No.
What's the deal? What's going on here? He said, Ken Buchan saying he would have to be a serial killer to be cut. If you can make Dana money, you're employed. I'm a quitter. What the hell is going on? Why did you come here? And why aren't you in here? Yeah, let's give Loretta. Let's throw up the number. Oh, I don't know if you can call in, Loretta, because we have a caller already.
She's calling right now. I'm going to let you go, buddy. So we'll talk to you soon, okay? All right. And then Iaquinta said he's not coming in because you sort of won him over. What's that about?
Well, that's no. That's even more of a reason to come on. Now you're a fan. You get to talk to your idol.
Okay, Lauretta, call back. I had an app freeze here. Here we go. All right, I think we got her.
Hello.
Loretta,
Hi.
you are on the Call Me Out show with Aaron, and this
Hi,
is
Aaron.
Al.
Hi there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my computer won't let me speak into it. Something with the settings, and you would think that I would be able to fix it, but I'm not too tech savvy on the computer anymore.
Yeah, sometimes this app we're growing with the Haps app. We're taking it in stride. So you seemed like you were very opinionated about this John Jones thing.
Yes, only because everyone commenting and talking about it is a guy.
Uh-oh.
You definitely have to see it from the girl's point of view, or more from like an emotional point of view.
All right, so give it to us. Give it to us from your point of view. It seems like a lot of the listeners, it's a male dominant audience here.
I mean, I guess everyone has different opinions, but just from a female standpoint, I just can understand a little bit why, like some people would say like she's brainwashed or she's staying because of whatever reason, the money, or she doesn't want him to get in trouble. But sometimes girls, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is just how I used to think. Sometimes girls think that the more they care for someone, or the more they love someone, the more they have hope that the person will change, whether it's for them or just change in general, to try to make them like a better person. And the more they fail at it, the more most girls try harder and think that they can like fix someone. But what his wife needs to realize is that maybe it's not even him, it's just who he is when he's influenced, whatever he's taking. I don't want to say all these drugs or whatever, because I'm not sure, I don't know him, but when someone is under the influence of drugs, they are no longer themselves. So that's just my view on that. Somebody commented, show your cute nurse outfit. I can't. I'm not on camera, and I'm not wearing my cute nurse outfit.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I mean, it seems like that, and that's the problem, is that she keeps giving him chances, but he keeps getting drunk or whatever he's doing, and then he turns into this other guy. It would be interesting to see, is he that same guy? But maybe she's just hoping that he can straighten his act out, because it seems like he gets a couple, maybe one. He might just be the kind of guy, gets one drink him, and then he's got to drink 10. He turns into a totally. He gets the Hulk going. He just gets out of control.
Yeah. I think I read somewhere, or I saw, I don't know if it was an interview or did he write it somewhere, but he said he just has to stay away. Or if someone's, I guess Dana said, like, you can't keep him there for more than 12 hours. Like, it does have to do with the environment too. I know a lot of people that were addicted to certain substances, and people that come clean from that, even just being in an environment that they were before, when they used to have those feelings that they get on those drugs or alcohol or whatever, that can make them relapse right away. So literally just a thought in your mind of how you felt in a certain place, if you're in that place again, it's very hard to like fight that feeling, and they just give in and they do it again, even though they know what can happen if they do it again,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder if he's ever gone to any type of a rehabilitation program or therapy, because
Well, he said he has, and then I think he checked himself out in like 24 hours. This is a story from a long time ago.
Yeah, so see that, I mean, that's the problem right there. You think if you think you're better than that kind of program, you think you can handle. Yeah, I could handle this. I can handle one. I can handle two. Turns into 10. Turns into smashing your head on a cop car, and yeah, that's a. I think that I heard that's a felony. That's going to be a different story if. And now you're messing with the cops. You're messing with Las Vegas. Las Vegas, when he's in Albuquerque, he can kind of, he's John Jones from Albuquerque. I think in Vegas, it's a different story. They're going to make an example of him. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, how much can you get away with the same thing over and over again, especially in the same place?
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll see. I'm gonna say he fights. I'm gonna say he fights in a year. This whole thing will be done. It'll be blown over. The UFC will have forgotten about it, and he'll fight. He'll fight in a year. But
As long as it
hopefully. What's that?
Maybe I should take that back. No, it's okay. I said as long as it brings the money in, because really, with not just with the UFC, but any business, any organization, any hospital, anything, everything has become about the money. Like, they don't care what you represent. They don't care what you do. He's not the only fighter that has done some crazy things out in public, and for some reason they get forgiven right away, because of who they are, what they do, like, at their job. But it shouldn't be that way.
Now you bring up being a nurse, and I put out a tweet. I was asking to hear from some doctors and some nurses that they might have been let go, or this new mandate is kind of crazy in New York. And Lauretta, we talked about it briefly, but we had Elvis Sinosic. He gave us the lowdown on what's going on in Australia, and he spit some facts about COVID and his opinions on it. So give us a little background about what you had to deal with through COVID, and now what you're going through and what the plan is.
Okay, so I've been working in the emergency department for 5 years, but as a patient care tech. So the techs work under the nurses. But last year, I also had my LPN license. But just because of school, I couldn't find a good schedule at the hospital to, move up and work as an LPN there. So I worked as an LPN outside of the ER. So I had 2 jobs during COVID. In the nursing home, on the COVID floor, because nobody wanted to work. Everybody was just so scared, as they should have been in the beginning, of course. But nobody would work on this COVID floor, and I would pull 16 to 20 hours when I would work there, double shifts, at least 3 or 4 times a week. And then I would also work in the ER, 8-hour shifts, and I would do doubles just because of how short-staffed we were. And now, short staff is always a problem in the hospitals, but especially during COVID, everyone was just so scared that they requested leave of absences. They called in sick. They used personal days. Everyone, like, a lot of people did as much as they can to just not show up to work. And during that time, in the beginning, I was scared too, but there's like 2 different types of healthcare workers, like the ones that get into it because of the benefits and money. And then there's the ones that I'd like to think I am like, and that's just going to work and changing people's lives and helping them and, like having like an influence, or like a positive influence on their lives. And instead of being scared, I just literally thought to myself, what if these patients were my family members, and there's no workers there to take care of them. So I have a job to do. Like, this is what I do, and I can't run away from it. So every single day, I did not have a day off until I got like completely exhausted, and I finally decided to take a day off. But yeah, so during COVID, my ER split up. We have different zones in the ER, and everyone's assigned to a zone depending on the urgency of their symptoms or their diagnosis. So the two main zones are the red zone and the blue zone. The red zone is the critical side. That's where all the heart attacks come in, respiratory arrest, cardiac arrest, very, very low blood sugars, like things that need urgent care. And then the blue zone is more general abdominal pain. They need a certain diagnostic exam, whatever. So the blue zone ended up turning into a COVID zone. And those doors were closed all day. People going in and out would crack the door open just enough to like let their bodies through. Our PPE, we had one set of PPE for a long time until people started to donate. And we would keep it in a bag with our name on it, and we would hang it on these hangers outside of the COVID zone. You'd see 50 to 70, maybe even 100 plastic bags with people's names on it because we had to reuse our gear. And we were too scared to take it out. So we would leave it there. And I was assigned to the COVID zone almost every day. And the days that I wasn't, I also work with my mom. So the days that I wasn't assigned and she was assigned to the COVID zone, I would ask the charge nurse if we could switch our positions for the day, our assignments. And I would work in the COVID zone just because I was so scared that, you know, her being older, that something could happen to her. I just like didn't care if it happened to me. And every day in there was literally hell. Like some people, especially me now, I talk about it. I talk about COVID like it's not as big of a deal as people think or make it seem, or it's the news and it's this and that. But in the beginning, it was the biggest deal because nobody knew what was going on. Nobody, you know, every day it was like a new rule to follow from the CDC or a new fact that they came up with. So yeah, every day was patients stacked. Now the blue zone has maybe 15 rooms, but we had up to 70, 80 patients in the zone. So there were people in the room and there were people right outside of stretchers. Everything was stacked up against each other. We barely had room to even get to a patient that was against the wall. We were low on ventilators, but almost all the ventilators that, you know, we had were in that zone. And it just got to a point where you just didn't feel anything. Like there's a lot of people that say separate your work life with like your real life and don't bring feelings home, but being in there all day and more than half of these people couldn't even speak. Like they were just gasping for air. And you just like, it was just a completely different world that no one knew how to feel going into it and going through it. There were weeks, I think, that I went with only 2 hours of sleep at night, you know, because I was just so exhausted. Just thinking, I would be up thinking about everyone, like the last words people said to me, the family screaming on the phone, like trying to find a way to come inside. They wouldn't even let family members inside, even when we were doing CPR on patients. And it just became like such a inhumane type of like living and working situation. Like you had no connection with people. You couldn't speak to them. You were scared to touch them. People, I can go on about it for hours. I can literally go on about it for hours. One of the doctors that I work with wrote a book about his experience, and I'm in the book. It's called Every Minute is a Day. And it just shows a few different situations and backgrounds of the workers there, but really just what we went through. I was doing CPR on people with a surgical mask on. And then the next day, it was you can't enter any room that has COVID with someone that has COVID without having an N95 on. Then I'm there thinking, oh my God, am I going to die? Like, did I just, you know, I've been doing CPR on top of these people for 20, 30 minutes, sometimes by myself because we didn't have enough staff. And I'm pretty much breathing through my surgical mask. And now they're telling me I need a N95. I had no N95. My friends from the gym were donating them. They were mailing them to my house. It was hell. And now fast forward, I don't have a job at the moment.
Why not?
Mandate.
After it sounds like you went to bat for this hospital and you put your life on the line. You did above and beyond. What happened?
I don't know. I never thought this day would come. I knew that they wanted to enforce these vaccines, but there's just so much information that we know that is very crucial in younger, I'm not going to just say younger or healthier people, but people that are aware of things and aware that they can make a choice about themselves and their bodies. I just never thought that it would get to a point where I would have to be forced to get something or lose my job. So I received an email, I received calls from all my managers saying, if you don't get the vaccine by October 12th, well, first they said if you don't get it by sometime last week, they said if you don't get it by last week, one of the days last week, I don't know what day it was. They said if you don't get it by this day, we have to put you on leave for 2 weeks. And until October 12th, you have until October 12th after that to get your first dose or you will be terminated.
And
So,
you had to you told them that it's not happening, or so how did the conversation go?
I said, I don't want the vaccine. They said, okay, well, that's your choice, but if you don't comply, they actually worded it perfectly. They worded it to a point where you can't take them to court for it. You can't, they said the only people that would be exempt from this whole thing are those that have a religious reason. So I submitted a religious exemption form, and I received the email today that it was not accepted. And now I have about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, to decide if I want to keep my job or if I want to do something against my own will. Really, that's what it comes down to.
What about getting I'm sure. It's absolute nonsense that if there's anybody that should be exempt, it should be somebody that went through it, saw everything that's been going on. LG just commented, the governor of New York is going to replace unvaxxed healthcare workers with the National Guard. What a joke.
Well, there's more to it than that. The National Guard doesn't have to get vaccinated till 2022, from what I understand.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to mention that and ask for someone to verify it, because not everything you read online is true. Okay. But when I read that, I just, can you even be surprised at this point? They're just doing what they want. They don't care. They literally don't care. And I said to my manager, I said, are you saying I'm going to be fired if I don't get it? I said, is this normal to you? Is this, we live in America. We literally live in America. We are not in South Korea. We are not in the former Islamian, communist regime. What are you saying to me right now? And she said, listen, it's not us. The hospital won't get the money if you guys don't do it. We won't get our funds. So this is what I meant by everything goes back to the money and how much money you make. Whether it's a business, whether it's an organization, everything is always about the money. They don't care that we were there every day. They don't care that some of us had COVID. I had COVID 2 months ago. I literally caught COVID 2 months ago, and I beat it, and I feel fine. And what, do antibodies just don't exist? They don't exist anymore. They don't count for anything anymore. People that get the vaccine, they're not completely protected against it. They can still catch it. They can still pass it on. So what does me getting the vaccine after I already had COVID do for anyone?
Well, that's what we were talking about with Elvis earlier. Is they need to listen, work on this vaccine. What's the deal? Why is this the vaccine but why is it not being worked on? So that my understanding of the vaccine when this thing first came out was that you get the vaccine, you take it, you can't get COVID. And then people started getting COVID with the vaccine, and then it all changed. Everything's changing. It's like if you tell me one thing,
and then spike proteins, and then major breakthrough cases. Israel, Harvard, the Harvard Law School, Harvard just announced they're going back to online classes because there was a breakthrough of 95% of the people that tested positive were the ones that got the vaccine. I'm not anti-vax. I'm not against vaccines. We literally are living right now because of certain vaccines that we got as kids. Yes, but I also think that those vaccines were experimented with and went through trials for more than a couple of years. And some people say, okay, but they've been working on COVID for this vaccine for the past 5 years. Okay, that's great, but we never had cases, so they never had actual trials. They couldn't base any of their research on anything. So this is still new and it's still experimental. So how can you force the number one thing that I think about is we will not be liable for anything that happens to people that experience adverse or side effects. Okay, so now if I get this vaccine and something happens to me, I can't sue you, but you're forcing it on me and you're holding my job against me and my livelihood. But in the end, I can't sue anyone. I can't win anything from this. So I've seen videos where people, their lives have been ruined by the vaccine. I'm not saying that's going to happen to everyone. Of course, it's a very small number, but how do you know you won't be that person? How can anyone go into it like comfortable enough to say, okay, I want it, just because everyone's talking about it?
Yeah. No, it's I'm gonna get in a comment here. Jeff Sokol's Cold Pizza is asking me if I'm vaccinated. I am not vaccinated. I had COVID. I believe in my antibodies are strong. And I'm a pretty healthy guy. Look, I don't know enough about it. And
But you may
basically
have to get
I may have to get it to fight at MSG. This is the thing, and it would be pretty pretty unfortunate. I'd have to it'd be tough for me to do, because look, if you say this is a vaccine and you give me the facts and you say that this thing works, first off, don't tell me to take the vaccine because it'll stop the spread of COVID, because it's not stopping the spread of COVID. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, don't tell me to do anything. If I wanted to be told to do stuff, I'd move to a place where they can just tell you to do stuff. I'm freaking, you know what I mean? This is my shit. This is my body. You're not telling me what to do with vaccine when it comes to this. And that's it.
Grew up in America. Nobody thinks about that. Growing up in America and living your whole life free. There are people, they're like famous people now, like that Korean girl that went on Joe Rogan talking about her life growing up, and when she left, she couldn't believe that she could do this and can wear that. And so just imagine, like, we grow up in a place where we were never restricted to do anything because we had our freedom, and now all of a sudden they're imposing these things and really just forcing us to do something like against our will. Like, how can anyone feel comfortable going into you force anything, it's always going to be met with resistance. So the fact that they even try to belittle people that aren't sure about it and just want to have their own choice, I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it.
Yeah. And I think we could talk about this till we're blue in the face, but I mean, at the end of the day, what are we going to do? Unless it gets bad enough to where, in Australia, they're revolting. You see them getting a little crazy. It could come to that here. It could come to that.
It can definitely come to that, especially if we let this happen. So that's what I'm scared of. You give one little thing to them and they'll take more because they know that they can do it.
I'm just trying to fight a guy in a cage. Loretta's just trying to help a couple people.
Feed myself and help people.
Help a lot of people. Yeah, and the fact, shame on them. Shame on anybody that is forcing these medical professionals that have been in the trenches during COVID, that were there. They're grandfathered out of this nonsense. There's no, you can't tell them. If you saved a life in COVID, or if you held someone's hand while they passed on, You have done more than enough, and no one's telling you what to do, but they are, and it's crazy. So Loretta, what's the plan now? You got no job. They took your job away. I'm sure you got bills to pay, right? What the hell is gonna happen?
Well, I've been really researching and thinking about either moving to a different state or just working in a different state.
Ah,
I moved to New Jersey a couple years ago, so I'm not too far from New York now. But I heard that in New Jersey, the vaccines are not like actually mandated. Like they suggest you get it, they encourage you to get it, but if you don't, then you just have to submit to weekly or once or twice a week. You have to do the nasal swab, which is really uncomfortable. But I think I would rather do that than get this thing. But I don't
yeah,
know.
give me the test every day. Give me the test every day. As long as you don't have to, you know what I mean. You gotta let them work. You gotta let them work.
Yeah, because how about the people that get the vaccine and they return to work and then they end up catching COVID, but they're asymptomatic, so you don't know that they have it, and then they end up giving it to 10 elderly people and they all die. It's like you can't say that this is the answer. This is not the answer. This doesn't fix anything. It really doesn't fix anything, and I don't know. All I know is even hospitals in New Jersey, hospitals in Florida, all these places, they're saying for current workers they can do that testing, but they can't hire new workers without it. So now I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
unfortunate.
Do I want my job or do I want to look for something else? Do I want to wait out and see if something happens? I don't know. All I
Nah,
know is the vaccine will not fix anything, and the way they go about this doesn't fix anything. Like just the stress that they put on people for doing things like this, like stress will kill people. Everything that Elvis said was 100% true. I wish people knew the effect of like what stress does to the body. It affects all of our body systems. People literally die from stress. And I think at the beginning of COVID, the false fear that people had, because there's fear and then there's false fear. The false fear that people had drove them to put their bodies into stress, that made their immune systems weaker, that made them not react like their bodies really could have to fight it off.
Yeah, no, people being locked in the house, people not being able to work, the stress of money. How are you going to pay the bills? Elvis was saying it. He just opened a gym. This is his livelihood.
Yep.
Not being able to talk to people.
The consequences of the mandates and lockdowns can be just as deadly as lifting everything and letting people just live.
Jeff Sokol, Cold Pizza commented, Loretta, New York sucks anyway. But no, New York doesn't suck. New York is like the best place to be. I was talking to a couple people at the gym today, and they were like, so they were kind of down to New York, especially you got the beaches of Long Island, you got New York City, the city that freaking like Sinatra says it the best. You make it there, you make it anywhere. It's just these freaking retards that are running this thing. They like who is running the ship here? These people like it's it's absolute nonsense that they can make these like the people need to take control back over this New York, because if New York is run by New Yorkers, true New Yorkers, it'd be a different story. This is a great place to live. This is my home. Been here, born and raised, and the fact that it's turning into what it's turning into. You got Red Band. You got the Hamptons. You got Montauk. You've got Nassau County. It's one of the wealthiest counties in the country. Just a beautiful place to live, raise kids. People they move from the boroughs out to Long Island to raise their kids. The city, You know, there's endless amounts of possibilities. You wanna make it somewhere? You go to New York City. You can make it. There is so much. You have so much at your fingertips. If you work hard for 1 year, you can. There's so much hustle going on there. You can be made or you can be broken in New York City within a year, depending on. And that's why New York is the way it is because you can make it. You can make it if you just freaking you just work. There's so much at your fingertips. And you know what? I hate to freaking. We gotta call this number. Hold on. I'm getting a bunch of calls. Someone keeps FaceTiming me.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting pranked. So I want to call them on the air. They just keep calling me. I got 5 missed calls. Someone commented that I keep looking at my phone, Lauretta, while you were talking before, and it was not. It was I was listening to everything you said, but these freaking guys, they keep calling me, and I'm upset because people like Lauretta are losing their jobs. I'm about to go crazy and start smashing my computer. Lauretta,
No.
all right.
We need it. We don't want to go back to the
Wait,
phone.
they're
and
not
the
picking up
headphones.
now?
No. Well, we got it. Yeah, we're gonna call him in a second. But
You want- If you want, you could just put it on speakerphone and hold it up to the mic.
well, no, we got to call him from the show's number. I blocked them, but for some reason I blocked. So I block them, but I can still see that they're calling me. It still rings, and then when I try to answer it, it says that you're receiving a FaceTime from a blocked number. So I can see that they're calling, but I can't answer it. It's freaking driving me bonkers here, and I'm trying to freaking listen and do a show here. So we got to call these guys. Jeff Sokol's Cold Pizza. Al said the beaches, Abs NYC.
I don't know.
The beaches. I'm not New York City beaches. Long Island beaches, the Hamptons, Montauk, Nassau County, Suffolk County. You can start Lido West. You go out to Tobay Beach, Gilgo Beach, Robert Moses, the legend Robert Moses. A little, controversial figure. But then you go out to the Hamptons, Montauk. See, look at this. Look at this shit. You're freaking calling again.
Hold them back on the phone. I'll hang up.
All right,
Loretta,
Loretta. God bless. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
guys.
sorry, Aaron. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm freaking losing my mind here. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, I just said the same thing you did. I said, God bless you, Loretta, and I'm sorry that you're having to make this choice, and your livelihood or something you don't believe is safe.
Yep. I have 2 weeks to figure it out, so we'll see what happens.
Please keep us posted.
I will. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night, Loretta. Good luck.
Bye.
So many people
wait.
having to make that choice, Alex.
Am I FaceTiming this person? Hold on, let me see. Let's see.
Oh, you are?
Let's see if they'll answer.
I don't know. Good question. It's the story of your life.
Usually I'm a big fan of the pranks.
Yeah.
New York gets cold, but would you rather be somewhere where it doesn't snow in the winter? Red Band, you might not have heard before Elvis Sinosic was on. My goal in life is to live in Long Island. Let's say April, May, June, July, August, September. October, we go to Sydney, Australia. It's the summer there. We get the summer. Stay there until April, come back. We stay here until October, go back in October, stay there till April. It's the endless summer, my guy. It's basically Long Island all year round. All right. You know what, Aaron? I'm gonna send you this number here. Let's see. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can call these idiots. Because I've had enough of this shit.
No, this is how this works. And as soon as we call, they're not going to answer. But you can try to call me out number. I'm almost afraid to put it back on. See if you can give me the number first. And then
So I just sent you a whole bunch of them. I would try the 917 first.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go through all of them.
Ha!
These freaking pieces of crap. Look at it. You see all those missed calls? 1036, 1037, 1037, 1039,
Oh, I only have
1031.
cut off the last number.
Oh shit! Hold on. Let me see what we can do here.
Hang on. Let's do the 917. Let me get what I have. 74. Okay, what's the last digit of the 917 number?
Nine 810 0810. Is that it?
Okay, got it. All right, we're calling.
Let's call this freaking guy.
We're ringing.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Call him again. Call him again.
All right, you think that's the one?
That's the one because they just put the FU button on us. They better freaking answer. These freaking guys.
Okay, calling again.
I blocked them and they still call and it comes through. What the heck? What the hell is? What kind of block is that? I want to block people.
It's not good.
Been forwarded to an
oh, what a little brat. Hold on, leave it. We're gonna leave a message. Oh wait,
Oh
what did
shit!
you say?
All right.
Hello?
Two. All right, we're calling again. Hang on, sorry.
Yeah, call him back. It said his name.
Oh.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 91774408110 is not available.
Just give out your phone number.
At the tone, record your message. When you have finished recording,
What should I say, guys?
For more.
You're on.
You're on. You're on the Call Meow show, you little rat. Freaking. You're on the Call Meow show, you little rat. Answer the phone. Freaking. I don't know. This is upsetting. I blocked your ass. Stop calling me. Get a life. The guy, Aaron, he tagged like 25 numbers. So like they're all like, what the hell are you doing? Get a life. You know what I mean?
How does that work?
I don't know. There's like a bunch of numbers on there. I said you want to try? Let's try one more of them. Let's try the next one. You ready? I'll tell it to you. I could, or if you have them. Do you have them?
You want to try which one? The 646?
Maybe do you see 347-714 1048?
Yep, I got it. All right, hang on. Okay.
Brian Redband says, "Do you want to talk about Curtis Blades?" Not really.
Not really. All right.
Big fan of him, but right now we got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Jeff Sokol. No, I've never met John Jones. Maybe in passing. I remember when he won the title. I think
Bye-bye.
Okay.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
What a dork. What was that? Hey, did bye-bye. What a freaking, that's your real shit? All right, let's try this. What do we got?
We got some voicemails. You want to hear one?
Sure, let's play a voicemail.
Recent one. Oh, this one's only 2 seconds. This one's 38 seconds long. The rest of them are small. So let's see. Oh, I think this one called. This might not be as fun as I thought. Let's try it anyway. If it sucks, we'll get out of it. All right, you ready?
I like the unknown. Get into the unknown.
No, it's just someone fidgeting.
Fucking kidding me.
Oh, he's mad because he can't get on. But he's mumbling. Okay.
Fucking kidding me.
It should be a. You know what we should do next week? Let's just put it out there. Leave us a voicemail. Best ones get played on air. I'd love to know. People say they want to talk to you live, but they don't. What's that? I'm sorry. All right, you want to try one more? Yeah.
Try one more of those numbers.
Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's see. Which one have I not tried? I haven't tried the 646. I did try the 646. There's a bunch of them, man. Yeah, this is insane. Okay. I did the 917. I did the 347. Did I do the 6? I did the 646. Well, there's another 646 I didn't try. Let's try that one.
You have like a group. All
right. We're calling.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 6
Call him again.
4 5 3
right,
9.
Okay, hang on. Try this one more. This is. You're ringing back.
Oh, did you guys confuse me for a spam caller?
We did.
No, I don't think we did. Who do you know?
Is this Lauretta?
Huh? Yeah, this is me, Lauretta.
Well, how the hell did I do that?
Oh shit.
Lauretta, we're
I don't know.
sorry.
I only called like twice earlier trying to get in because I didn't know how.
Lauretta, we're so sorry.
Oh God, did you guys put my number out for the 1,000 viewers?
No.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
All right, I think we're done with this game for tonight.
Aaron, it's been real.
Ow.
Is that my nose whistling?
I think it might be.
Fuck.
I heard.
I had a dream. I had a dream that my nose was whistling.
Huh.
And I think it was just my nose whistling, like in real life.
Oh.
It's freaking. I just got nose surgery, these motherfuckers. It's my nose whistling.
Well.
Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hopefully, I don't know. Well, this episode has depressed me. I'm not feeling very optimistic about the future of the world. The only thing that could bring the people together, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, the Republican, the Democrat, the conservative, and the liberal. Do you know what that is, Aaron?
What could it be, Al?
The fucking aliens, man. Those things come down. We're gonna be thankful that we all have each other. We're gonna be thankful that the Taliban is gonna thank us for being us. And we're going to thank the Taliban for being here because those motherfuckers will go suicide bomb the aliens. I'm talking out of my ass right now. And I think the only thing that could bring the world together is an extraterrestrial invasion. We might not survive, but if we do, we will be brought together. One might think that this COVID could have been. They're fucking calling me back. I was in the zone.
Damn it!
I was in the freaking zone. And look, I'm freaking. Look, you are joining a FaceTime call with a block contact. I'm gonna unblock this guy. I'm gonna unblock this guy right now.
Now I just got a text
I'm
from
gonna
one of the
unblock
other
him.
ones that said, hi, Baba.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Hold on. How do I go to blocked? What? Hold on. Hold on. All right. You know what? We'll do this next week. Aaron, it's been real. I'm gonna go freaking cry myself to sleep. I had a great day of training today. If all things are depressing, at least we got that. Tomorrow we got jujitsu in the morning. Aljo will be there. Merab's gonna be there. Matt Serra will be there. Dennis the Great. Look at this fucking. You gotta be fucking kidding me. We got another one. All right. You know what? Here, take this number down quick. 347.
I got
347.
Okay.
347-225-3163.
Uh-oh. We calling him? This is the last one.
Yeah, let's call him. Let's call him and then we just call it a day. I hope this freaking guy answers.
The wireless customer you are calling is not available.
Oh wait, no, this is the number. Hold on. This is the number that called me. It's ready? Hold on. This is
All
it.
right, hang on. I gotta get back. All right, you ready?
It's 917
Okay.
900
Okay.
2459.
All right. You know, let's hope this isn't somebody you know because I think they're about to get some calls. Oh, it's ringing.
Ally, I'm a quitter. If I didn't give trolls my energy, we wouldn't be here.
Hello?
Hi, yes, you're on the Call Me Al show.
On the what?
You are on the Call Me Al show because you called me. I'm Al.
I'm on the show?
You're on the Call Me Al show. You called me. I'm Al. And now I'm getting another FaceTime again. What's the problem, my guy?
Are you there?
No, fucking your mom. That's what I'm doing.
Oh no. And he hung up. Ah, wow.
Call him
What a
back.
piece.
Give him back. One more call and we go. Look at this. Look at this. I'm freaking getting more calls. This is crazy.
Something happened. I don't know how this is all happening.
Yeah, give him one more. Give him one more call. Let me
See if he's
see.
looking
Hold
for a
on.
house.
Is this the same number?
I'm
917-744. All right, hold on. Take this number down.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
I already called the other guy.
Yeah, call him. Fuck it. This is a different number. This guy keeps calling. Oh, this has got to be the guy. Look,
On your
he's
phone?
calling over and over and over and over again. 917
All right, hang on. I hung up on this. Hang on.
7.
Okay. Wow. 917.
Fucking 7440810. He keeps calling me though, so I don't know if we're gonna get through.
Okay.
Just call him.
We're trying.
He's gonna just go like to Right to voicemail, I think.
Little Bill doing
Been forwarded to an
No.
automatic
Yeah,
voice message.
call him. Just keep calling. We gotta keep calling. We gotta get him in between calls because he's calling me so much that that we can't get through. Give him again. Hit him quick.
All right.
Before he hits me back again.
Oh, dial. And don't worry, Brian. It's not a real phone number. Hello.
Yo, my guy.
Yep. My guy. What's that?
Why the fuck are you keep calling me for?
Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Dude, are you kidding me?
You call me, motherfucker. You keep calling me.
No one called you dumbass. You go fucking enjoy the rest of your night.
Bro. And
This
they
might
hung
be
up.
like this could be like robocallers, and these people may not be actually calling you. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Dude, this is nuts because they just keep calling me.
you see
That's
his
nuts.
picture on WhatsApp. Oh, it says Dylan Danis released your number.
Did he really?
No, somebody's making a joke. That's funny though.
Oh, I'd fucking kick his ass. All right, man. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to do another edition of empty our call log very soon. Oh, come on, dude. Something's up. Something's weird.
Yeah,
it's just we gotta end it.
Yeah.
We'll do this all night.
Yeah. Well, it's not every day we are told to go screw ourselves. Yeah, we all got told by that guy, huh?
Yeah, I mean it is kind of every
Enos.
day.
Ain't that the truth? Aaron, it's been real, my man. Until next week. Until next week. That's Aaron. And you can call me. Al, hit the music. We're out.
Thanks for listening to Call Me Al with Al Iaquinta. Remember to subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen.
I can call you Betty.